There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true. Yo, folks, that's the voice of your Yonkō host, DrJaceAttorney, and we are setting sail with the Yonkō Table to the Grand Line. We are in part 3 of our Water 7 coverage of One Piece Chronicles. That's right, folks. There are 2 previous parts before this current one, and there's likely going to be at least one more part after this one that's covering the epilogue portion. But for this part 3 segment of Water 7 / Enies Lobby, we're going to be covering everything that we left off on from last week's episode. So in case you guys don't remember, from last week's episode, we left off with Luffy versus Bluno, the reveal of Gear 3, and we almost got a secret gear in there, which we'll get into as we go on. But that's where we left off. There's a couple things that we want to just, briefly cover that involve the raid of Enies Lobby, which we kind of glossed over intentionally from last week. And then we get to the cream of the episode, the CP9 fights. Everyone gets their 1v1, everyone gets their level up, and it's all great. These are some of the best fights in One Piece to this day. But before we deep dive this week's episode, with me as always is fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop. Grandmaster, are you a Fukuro stan?
Fukuro? Why? I don't have Fukuro.
What? You don't like him?
I mean, I'm just saying my background has nothing to do with Fukuro. Why are you pinpointing Fukuro of all
He's
people?
a member of CP9. He's an assassin.
What are you trying to say? Is it weird if someone says they like Fukuro?
Why can't you just answer the question?
Your question is implying a lot.
It is not. It's a simple
yes,
question.
It is.
I don't want to ask an obvious one like, are you
You're
a
trying to say
stan?
something about Fukuro. You don't like Fukuro.
I like everyone. Whoa, so I laugh. Is it a confirmation? It's
just move on. Just who cares? CP9, yes. They're all unique. They're all fun. They all got something enjoyable to watch. Whatever. Fukuro's part of them.
Okay. Sure. That's his laugh. Everyone gets an iconic laugh. But with us to deep dive this episode are fellow supernovas and admirals alike. And let's get into it. So before we deep dive the CP9 fights, there were some elements from last week's episode that we glossed over intentionally before we got to the Luffy versus Bluno fight. One of the big moments during the raid of Enies Lobby was, of course, the conversations between Spandam, who's the director of CP9, and the rest of the CP9 agents. And that's where we get introduced to the additional agents outside of Lucci, Kaku, Bluno, and Khalifa. We also get introduced to 3 CP9 agents, 3 additional ones. Jabra, Fukuro, and this one is my least favorite. What's his name?
Isn't it Kumadori?
Kumadori, that's right. He has full control over his hair. Ooh, it's kind of cool. But they have some very interesting conversations with each other. You learn a little bit about devil fruits. You learn a little bit how the world government works. Did you guys like these conversations, like from a different perspective? Because we usually don't get conversations from the world government. So whenever we get agents from the Navy, world government just conversing with each other, I feel like kind of like from our Game of Thrones talks, it's like these are the moments you got to pay attention to because they're here dropping some heavy stuff in the world of One Piece.
Are they dropping heavy stuff?
Yes, they catalog devil fruits. That's important.
Yeah, they went into grave detail about devil, about Zoan types, everything. Because this is the first time you see them put Zoan types into action like that.
Is this during when they're giving the fruits to Khalifa and Kaku?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm getting confused with the scene where I don't know, Kumadori saying some dumb stuff about trying to commit, I don't know. Seppuku, yeah, and I don't know, what's his name? Fukadori's like
Fukuro.
Fukuro is like, I can't keep a secret. Chapapa. And then Jobra's like, I want to go to sleep and drink, and he's talking about his rivalry with Lucci. That's all I remember. That's what I from their introduction. But if there is this devil fruit introduction, then yes, this is probably important.
It's a very heavy devil fruit introduction. They give you some insight onto how the government kind of goes about collecting devil fruits, and it's cool to see that with these particular devil fruits, in the vast catalog that the world government has, not every devil fruit is documented. And these two devil fruits that they gave to Kaku and Khalifa, they don't know what they are. So it's one of those gambles that they tell them like, hey, we don't know what these devil fruits are, but eating a devil fruit usually is a power boost to whoever consumes one. Just be warned, you're going to lose your ability to swim and it's going to suck, but you're going to get some cool powers. And they didn't know what the hell it was going to be. And also in some of these question corners that Oda has in the volumes, he kind of gives some insight onto like what it takes to get a devil fruit power. So like, for example, you don't need to eat the entire devil fruit. You just take one bite and bam, you get the power, over and done with. And it tastes terrible. That's unanimous amongst all devil fruits. But I'm disappointed, Grandmaster, that you just zoned out during the most important scene in all of any Slavi. It's this government segment. What are you talking about?
It's okay. I just don't remember. But
It
yes,
is
it's important.
I want to make it though, because we get our second weirdest devil fruit user soon. I don't know if we've met him yet at this point in our plotting, but we get the person with the, what is it? Is it the elephant fruit? The elephant style fruit?
Oh, Funkfried.
Didn't we already know?
No, we get introduced to an elephant. We get introduced to an elephant right now, and we don't know what the deal is. We just know Spandam has an elephant for some reason, just walking around.
So it's gonna come back later how these fruits work. Even though I still don't know if I understand that one.
They go over it. They go over it. They say they take, it's the essence of the fruit that they put into the items. So I think there's I'm going to assume there's multiple ways of doing this, because it seems like different people in the One Piece universe has taken advantage of this everywhere. So I don't think it's just like one method. I think there's got to be like multiple methods, which will explain, I guess, how some people get away with certain things later. But I'm just gonna assume that it's like an actual thing. Now I want to clear up too. I don't think they lose their ability to swim. I think it's just the sea salt, right? For devil fruits.
So in the question corners of these particular volumes, Oda got a bunch of questions involving what exactly do devil fruit users lose for their abilities. Like what's the logic? Is it the sea? Is it any body of water? What happens when they take a bath? So he literally laid out everything that, involves this. If your body is submerged in any kind of water, it could be salt water, fresh water, a bathhouse, it will weaken your devil fruit abilities. And it will weaken you in turn because you ate the devil fruit. So, for example, if Luffy were to go into a bathhouse and submerge himself up to like his chest, he'll be fine, but he's going to feel a little weak from that. And that's any body of water. Compared to if they go take a shower, for example, Oda basically said if it's raining or if they're taking a shower, they're okay with that. They're fine. But then he ties in Crocodile and he's like, well, with Crocodile though, because his weakness is water, he does feel a little bit like it feels terrible to take a shower with Crocodile. So that was kind of cool that he laid out the groundwork for that, because people had those questions early on. They're like, what are the rules? Is it the ocean? Is it like if you throw Luffy into a lake, is it the same thing? Is he gonna drown? So Oda
which is
clarified
important
anything.
for another future Devil Fruit user in terms of like what the bath does to you.
Yes,
as we're going to soon get to.
And that is true. We are soon going to get to it. It's in the CP9 fights. But again, just interesting conversations with CP9. I liked it.
They eat the devil fruits.
They ate the devil fruits,
which is kind of also, we're gonna get there, but also just like we'll pay. I don't know. We'll be rewarded for like these people experiencing these first devil fruits with some good old gags in the midst of these fights.
Exactly.
One in particular is great.
It's fantastic. It's some of the best fights in One Piece. But also Fukuro, kind of what Grandmaster was saying, his shtick is that he can't keep a secret, but he also does something in this scene where like he tests like the power level of all the CP9 agents by having them punch him or strike him. I thought this scene was a little silly because I felt like it was kind of obvious who was, you know, who the tier list was. I don't know, but you get a tier list of who's like the strongest in CP9, and then makes it blatantly obvious who's gonna fight who. You know, the strongest is gonna be up against Luffy. Second strongest is up against Zoro. Third, Sanji, and you keep going down from there. So I think the weakest one was it Khalifa? Was it Khalifa that was considered the weakest, or was it?
I don't remember this either.
I'm pretty sure it's Khalifa.
Do you pay attention?
I'm pretty sure it's Khalifa.
I just don't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's her.
Right. And then Lucci, I mean, his power level was just like astronomically higher than everyone else's. So you're like,
yeah,
wow,
like more than double.
Easily.
More than double Jabra. No, more than double Kaku or something like that. It was pretty high.
Right. Kaku was considered the second strongest because Jabra was pissed that he was just a little bit lower than Kaku and way lower than Lucci. So he has that rivalry going on with the two strongest ones. So again, just more CP9 banter. I like seeing this aspect with the characters. And aside from that, during the Enies Lobby raid, Usopp's able to recruit the two giants that were guarding one of the doors to Enies Lobby. I think that's really important because we get another mention of Elbaf. I feel like that's really important. That's like another instance where Usopp had an opportunity to go to Elbaf, which we'll touch on later during Usopp's fateful return to the crew. But again, he got presented the option. They're like, hey, we're from Elbaf. We used to be pirates with God, what are their names? Dory and Groggy? Is it Groggy and Broggy?
Dory and Groggy.
Dory and Groggy. Right. And again, it goes into what the world government's whole shtick is. They will lie to you. If you're a pirate, they have no reason to keep their promises or tell you the truth with anything. Because what was it? They basically tricked them into saying that oh yeah, we have Dory and Groggy in prison and we'll let them go.
I think it was their captains were dead or something, and that they didn't know the fate of their captains. They didn't know their captains were still on that island. But they gave them,
they gave them like a term to finish, to like work for them for like 50 years or 100 years, something like that.
Oh, I don't remember. All I know is they did not know Dory and Broggy were still alive fighting on that island.
I see.
That's what I remember. I could be wrong.
You've been forgetting everything else. I don't know.
Well, you don't know either, so I don't know.
What I recall was Dory and Groggy thought that the world government had their captains captive, and that to free them, they said, hey, if you work with us for like 50 or 100 years, which is nothing for a giant, we'll let them go. And that's why they were staying there the whole time. And once Usopp told them, wait a minute, no, Dory and Groggy, they're on an island, like fighting it out. They were never captured. They got pissed. And that's when they swapped sides and turn the tide of the Enies Lobby raid in the Straw Hats' favor. That's what I recall, Grandmaster.
No, I think that's right.
That sounds pretty right.
Yeah, they like team up, and with Usopp, they kind of regain their strength, regain their will to fight, and start, tearing down some of Enies Lobby.
It was what they needed. It definitely was. And those were like the significant portions. I don't know if I'm missing anything else during the Enies Lobby raid. I felt like just those were the parts that stuck out to me initially when they're just storming the island, which was the CP9 conversations and the Elbath mention with the Giants and Usopp.
Yeah, so it's like we ended last week with Luffy kind of being told by Robin that she doesn't want to live anymore. She doesn't want to live. And it's like after Luffy defeats Bluno and he tells her that's when all the crew starts to arrive on that rooftop too. They have done everything they can to kind of get there. And they all show up at the same time. Sanji thinks he shows up first, but is actually like last.
I love it.
I think
that's hilarious.
I think Usopp is thrown through the roof.
He's thrown by the Giants.
Yeah,
they all get there in an unconventional manner.
Yeah, and then we got the squad on the roof. We got
that panel, that roof. Shot. They get a whole thing.
We have Spandam say, "Don't go over there. Stay right here with me," because he's a scaredy cat, and that gives one that like sets up, the iconic shot of CP9 standing on their side, and then slowly but surely the gang stands on the other side, looking across, looking at Robin, looking at CP9, and like what they need to do to defeat them, and like what they need to do to rescue Robin, who they need to beat. Pretty iconic. I think it's one of my favorite panels.
Oh yeah, easily. I feel like it is iconic. There's a reason why Funimation wanted to start relatively around here when they started airing One Piece again on Toonami.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's almost like at this point, if you do not like One Piece, or if you felt like even just really just right beyond this point, if you are not feeling it, you should probably just stop watching, because this is peak.
No.
Right. This is peak, just as far as just that whole moment of them standing up there. Like, if you didn't feel like, yes, Robin, we're going to get you, like, we're going to kick all their ass, then I really think you should reevaluate you keep watching for another 600 episodes, because it's just, this is probably I guess as far as ethos goes, it's just extremely high. It's high on the meter. Every time I see this that panel, or I see that episode all the way up until the fight, it's just go from there, and it's just amazing.
It's like, I love Water 7. We were talking about this, I think, in the first episode about the highs of Enies Lobby. It's like, when I'm reading Water 7, I'm like, this is so good. How could Enies Lobby ever top this? And then I get to these moments in Enies Lobby when they're just standing there staring at Robin, being like, yo, it's showtime. I'm just like, dang, it's so good. Even in this reread through, I'm still like, I think Enies Lobby holds the crown. Not just because of this scene, for everything else we're going to get to kind of from this point forward. It starts right here, though. This is once you reach this scene and you know what comes next, it's all gold. It's all good stuff. It's the money. It's the highlight. It's the peak. It's the best stuff Oda's offering.
No, I think. Oh wait, Grandmaster, are you gonna say something?
Well, I was just gonna say, I think this shot is reminiscent of the walk to Arlong Park, as far as high key,
agreed.
Okay.
Kind of it's going down moments. We haven't had it's going down moment. I think the closest one you could say is maybe all of them on the Ducks at Alabasta, but that wasn't even as high as the walk to Arlong Park.
Yeah,
so,
it's not the same.
The vibes you get from right here, yeah, they're probably top 5 One Piece,
Right.
it's going down moments.
And,
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, comment, Chris.
Oh, I was just going to say it was the only similar moment I have. I guess before this would be when they were going to the Frankie family. Like, I guess that was like another moment.
Yeah.
Like when the four of them were
You
like
felt
walking
angry
up.
with them.
Yeah, like it gave the same vibe, you know, the cool, like, oh, you know, the top guys and all standing together, walking. We're gonna kick their ass, you know.
I guess for
Yeah,
this one,
definitely.
it tops a moment like that just because this is the whole crew now. This is like these are the Straw Hats.
Period.
And
Period.
this is us. And again, I really think this is the arc that makes you a ride or die One Piece fan. Like, this is the one that you get to. Arlong Park is the arc where it's like, okay, I think I should keep reading One Piece. I got this far. I kind of like the vibes of Arlong Park. If we get more of this throughout the later arcs, sure, that's great. But I feel like the Enies Lobby, Water 7 saga, like everything from beginning to end, especially this point, it's like once you get through this, you're sticking with One Piece to the end.
I think you become a diehard. I agree.
You become a
This is
diehard.
the moment when you're like, oh, I'm committed. I'm a lifelong One Piece fan. It's not like
That's it. It's not a
oh,
choice.
yeah, this isn't like an anime I watched when I was younger. This is not like a manga I was reading for one section of my life. It's like, oh, I'm locked in. Like, this is it.
I'm a stan.
Yeah.
Stan. No, literally it is.
If you, that's why I said, if this whole arc didn't make you a stan or really continue with One Piece, then I just don't see it happening any other, like, later down the line.
It won't.
Yeah, just
Don't sit there and tell me, oh no, it wasn't Eddie's Lobby that did it for me. It was Thriller Bark. When I got to Thriller Bark, that's what's so. Not saying
to
Thriller Bark
each
is
their
bad.
own.
Not
To
saying
each
Thriller
their
Bark is
own.
bad. I love Thriller
If
Bark.
they want to like Thriller Bark, let them.
That you can like Thriller Bark.
You can have
You
wrong
like-
opinions. It's okay.
No, I just don't think if Water 7 and Enies Lobby didn't do it for you, I'm surprised Thriller Bark did. So
I like Brooke. What can
but
I
to each
say?
their own.
But you know, during this panel shot, we get some back and forth with like Spandam and Robin. Spandam's been threatening this entire time during the raid, and especially right now that he has with him a Buster Call snail. And it was a snail, a transponder snail, a golden one that was given to him by Admiral Aokiji. And basically we've gotten some allusions to like what a Buster Call is, but not really what it entails. We know it's something dangerous. It's something with the Navy. And like, what is it? It's 10 warships and 5 vice admirals.
5 vice admirals, yes.
Okay.
So
that's what
wipe
entails
out
a
the
Buster
island.
Call.
Well,
Wipe it
most
out.
importantly, they're just like, unload all the guns. Let it all fly.
Right.
We're not stopping until it's wiped off the map.
And you know, you mentioned wiping off the map. Robin keeps reminding these characters, especially Spandam, like, you guys don't know what a Buster Call really is. Like, from your perspective, you press the button and it just like erases an island off a map. You guys have not been through this. You haven't seen what this can do. And that's when we transition into turn back the pendulum. We get a Robin flashback. We get Robin's origin story. I'm going to say this right now. It begins here. This is the saddest. This is the saddest origin story.
Saddest so far.
Nope. Out of all of them. Out of all the Straw Hats, this is the saddest.
So far. I'm going to say so far and keep it there.
So far from who?
Out of the Straw Hats?
Out of the Straw Hats. Because there's only 2 other people after this. I'm curious to know who has the saddest backstory.
Choppers is
Robin?
pretty sad. Choppers is really sad.
But is it sadder than this?
Brooke died.
Brooke did die. I mean, sorry, we're getting ahead. Who's Brooke?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm
already dead.
I mean, we should not compare trauma and tragedies. As in, the crew doesn't look at each other and be like, wow, your background's sadder than mine. But so neither should we.
You think
this
that's
is
sad?
very sad for different reasons as opposed to the others. They're all sad in their own right. And this story in itself is very unique in terms of there's a lot of real world parallels in this one.
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's the best. I think I'm with Dr. Jace. Like, the more I think about it, I think it's really sad. There's a lot of so much world building happening in this flashback. A lot of memorable characters who only show up for a handful of chapters, only for this flashback, and yet are pivotal going forward.
Very big.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Let's get into it. Let's go. This is a money flashback right here.
This is a money flashback. So the backdrop essentially is we get introduced to Robin, who is 8 years old at this point? This is 20 years ago? Okay.
8.
She is 8 years old. She's already eaten the devil fruit, the flower fruit, which is very interesting. They don't, even in this origin flashback, they don't go into detail as to how she got that fruit. I don't know if that's something that maybe later they get into.
They got a lot.
Maybe it doesn't matter.
Going on.
Maybe it doesn't
matter.
Maybe it doesn't matter.
They got a lot going on in this flashback that I think they were just let's just make her a weirdo. And I think it was a weirdo. I think it was a good decision.
You have the kids in the village bullying her, basically calling her a demon, and we get the name drop of the island of Ohara. We heard about this island a little bit before this, but now we're actually there. We get to see what this whole island is about, and it's essentially an archaeology-based island. It has a giant tree as a library. It has scholars, it has archaeologists, and their whole shtick is maintaining the history of the world. It's the biggest library in the world, right? The tree on Ohara.
Oh, I don't know about the biggest, but it's probably the richest in knowledge.
I would say richest. Yeah, I would say the richest one.
Which is a weird point, actually. Actually, yeah, it is the richest. I think they said richest, but that's also
it's weird that it's the richest.
Yeah, it's weird that even if it was a buster call, that they would do that on that island. The Navy.
Well, that's the
danger.
That's what makes it complex.
I don't know. There should have been a second rule. Go. Yeah.
We'll get into the buster call. So Robin is wanting to be an archaeologist on this island. But not in the sense where, she loves what she studies, because I think she needed to take an exam to pass the archaeology test. And the scholars on Ohara, they congratulate her and they say, "Oh, good job, Robin, hooray!" But Robin kind of has an ulterior motive outside of just doing what she loves, which is kind of sad. She's doing this, for a chance to follow in her mother's footsteps, to eventually meet her mother again, who she hasn't seen since she was a child. Robin does not know anything about her mother. Doesn't remember what she looks like. All she really remembers is that she left, and we
she's
don't know
an
why she left.
archaeologist, and that she wants,
Right.
and she wants to do that. Oof. Now I know Grandmaster Hoop. No, wait, where are we? Is this where Robin's looking at her mother leave?
No,
And
Robin didn't see her mother leave. No,
Oh,
her mother is not here on the island.
There was a flashback within a flashback where it showed Robin as even a smaller child when Olvia, Robin's mother, left her, when she left on the ship initially to sail away, and Robin's crying, doesn't want her mom to leave, and
yes, I don't want to get sidetracked. Grandmaster Hoop, I know he doesn't want to either, but there's a weird thing that happens here. Did you guys notice this? I never noticed it the first time, but when Olvia is leaving, somebody says, "Make up your mind, Olvia. Are you coming aboard or not? If you can't leave your child, then don't come. We'll fulfill your husband's wishes."
Right. I remember that line.
Who's Robin's dad? What was that?
I didn't really look too much
offhanded, but it's whatever his wishes were, it has to do with big picture One Piece stuff.
With her husband, I just kind of tied that into what Olvia also wanted, which is just uncovering the secrets of the world. So
That's huge.
No,
That's
it is.
gigantic.
It is. So I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever happened to her dad, he was
Whose
just
man
probably on the
is
same
this?
page.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like had pause when I was doing this reread, and I said, "Whoa, that's pretty big." One, it's the storytelling of kind of technique of not providing all the information. The fact that it's kind of offhanded, we don't get a name, lets me know that like Oda is like reserving this information for some reason. I don't know.
It's gold, Roger. There.
I don't think it's important.
let's not.
It could be important.
I think you're looking into it.
I understand. I understand what HooperTV's getting at because I remember the line.
I get it too. I just don't think it's that.
It's not Usopp's mom. It's somebody who was like trying to. It could be in-game stuff. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It could be in-game stuff.
You never know. I'm not putting my money on that theory, but you never know. You never know. Oda didn't mention a name or anything, so
yeah.
Like I was never gonna think that we were gonna get insight onto Ace's mom of all people. I thought it didn't matter.
Jumping ahead, who's Ace's mom?
Who did I say a name? Everyone has a mother at some point. Who's Ace?
Right.
Is that what you're gonna? Who's
No,
Ace?
we've met Ace.
Goodness. Anyways, so Robin wants to follow in her mother's footsteps, and she lets the archaeologist that she gravitates to more is Dr. Clover. Is that his name?
Professor Clover.
Professor Clover. And he's during her graduation ceremony or her celebration for passing the exam of archaeology, she lets Professor Clover know that she wants to study the poneglyphs. And at that point, that's where the attitude shifts, because now all the scholars in there are like in shock, thinking, wait, Robin, how do you know about the poneglyphs? How do you know about that? That's crazy. And we get some insight into how the world government views reading poneglyphs, reading about this ancient history a little bit.
She doesn't say poneglyphs. She says the Void Century. And the only way to learn about the Void Century is by reading the poneglyphs.
Okay.
And yes, they freak out on her, and they be like, "Don't ever say that out loud. Like, you're gonna get in big trouble." Like,
he starts shaking her.
Right. Like, stay here forever. Yes, the government has their reasons why no one should be trying to learn about the Void Century, and that anyone who's reading the poneglyphs is automatically branded a criminal of the highest of crimes.
Which is, and I want to make a point just to throw out there, which is why you probably never heard the world government or the Navy talk about the Revolution Army yet. Just want to throw that out there. And that kind of goes back to HooperTV's point too, but I'm just throwing that out there.
Right. They don't go too in depth into the because they would probably have some insight into the Void Century. But they want to be hush hush on everything involving the corrupt past of the world government. But Robin doesn't understand any of this. She's just like, what's the big deal? Why should history be hidden and all that stuff? So she runs away. She's upset. And she goes to a beach on O'Hara, crying to herself, and this giant washes ashore. Grandmaster Hoop's favorite giant. I don't know why.
Grandmaster Hoop.
I've never said this. I don't know where I can.
How does he laugh? How does he laugh?
Do the laugh.
That's your favorite.
I think you gotta smile more, because he's like,
this is so stupid. These laughs are and you know what? I mean, jumping ahead a little bit, even Robin was like, what is that? It's like, it's a laugh. You gotta learn to laugh, Robin.
Now she recognizes it early on.
Like that, and she struggles to do this laugh. Stop it.
How do you laugh like this?
Just do your own laugh. Jaguar D Saul, or Saul as they call him, and he befriends Robin, and basically, because she's crying, he's like, why are you crying? and he kind of hears her out and provides an open ear. And then they form a little friendship as he cheers her up. But before she heads back, he's like, "Hey, don't tell anybody I'm here. That's very important. Nobody can know."
She's like, I won't tell anyone. And he says, "Oh, great. That was too easy. You're going to tell someone." Because, I mean, he didn't trust her. She's just a little girl. She's probably going to blab to like her friends or something.
I mean, it's a giant, but he doesn't know that nobody likes Robin unless, the scholars who are kind of shutting her out right now to, disinterest her in the Void Century.
Right, exactly. And Jaguar, he actually mentions the D in his name. He kind of, you don't get too much in this scene, but like I think Robin asks about it. She's like, "D, what does the D stand for?" And I think Jaguar says, "Oh, I don't know."
Right, he says, "I don't know," right?
I don't know. I think it was something like, I remember it was like touched on for like a brief second or so. Like it's blink and you miss it. He like mentions it and they just like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know your middle name was D." Okay. And then they just move on. But I like that. I like that because you kind of just accepted everyone's middle name that had a D. You just kind of accepted it. It's like, oh, Gold D Roger, Monkey D Luffy, Pork Guys D Ace. I mean,
I think that's Oda teasing you. That's him.
The Goldie
saying,
was the first one, kind of like, wait, what? Something's going on here. When that was like, because it was like I don't want to call it a retcon. Was that the first one?
The first one outside of Luffy was Ace that we met.
No.
Ace.
I'm not saying it's the first. It was the first like, wait, something's going on.
Oh, something's with the name.
Right, because you thought
Ace was his brother. It was like,
right, Ace was his brother, so that's why they have the D in their name, and then Gold D, because something was going on, because up until that point you thought his name was Gold.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So the fact that he has a D, right. So he's dropping it here and he's trying, and again, it's a tease. He's like, she asked him, "What's the D for?" And he doesn't answer. So he's like, anyways. Right. Trying to get her off that subject. Wants to know too much. This child is too inquisitive.
And that speaks to what her interests are. You got to have these questions for her profession. That's what drives her towards being an archaeologist. She has questions and she wants them answered. And lo and behold, someone very familiar is arriving on the island around the same time. The lovely Olvia. She arrived on the island. What's going on here? Olvia's on the island, Robin's mother. Does she meets with the scholars first, right? Like,
she goes to the scholars.
She warns them.
And what is she warns them that what? The government's coming to this island?
They're coming to wreck everything.
Ooh,
they need to get out of there.
Okay.
Well, they're looking for her. She's like, they're looking for me, obviously. And then, we need to get rid of this stuff and hide our research. Burn
all the books. So that's okay, right? So I remember that, and then we also get introduced to another. This backstory is packed with so many characters that I really like what they did here. You get introduced to the father of everyone's favorite character from CP9. What was it? Spandine. Why is the name so similar? That's just weird.
What do you mean? Families have similar names.
That's just too on the nose. Spandam is such a unique name. You're doing that on purpose at that point.
Well, to name his son Spandam.
I think Oda just wanted to. It was weird because like Oda wanted to. It felt like Oda wanted to make it obvious, but then it's kind of a reveal later on. Also, not to jump ahead, but anyways, yeah.
Well, the reader should know.
Right, the names are very similar. It's like,
the reader should know.
Spandam, but your name is very, very similar to Spandam, and this is 20 years earlier. I'm just going to put two and two together and assume that you're his father.
Yeah, the characters don't know, but the reader should definitely know. So,
dramatic
irony.
Yeah, pretty clear.
And he's pretty much the same as his son, just a terrible person, very greedy, very power hungry. And I think he has a Buster Call still with him too, right? In this flashback.
He does. Yes, he does. Yeah.
Right. And initially did he go to the island to annihilate them from the get-go, or he was like, no, tell me where Olvia is?
Yeah. He first went there to capture her. And that was his only thing.
No. Saul, right?
There's a couple of things.
Saul was kind of like given the orders, and then he captures Olvia, and then he's like, Olvia, they have conversations, right? And then he like lets Olvia go.
Wow. Well, I don't think they revealed that he was coming for Saul yet.
Oh, Spandine?
Yeah, he just says he's here for Olvia because Saul never got her to him.
Got you.
Yeah. And so they're here for her. And I think they're hiding her. I don't remember exactly. But then we jump back to Saul and Robin, and they're having a conversation. And Robin drops that you're on O'Hara. And
yeah, it's like Robin's like, my mom's an archaeologist. I want to be like her. And then you can see it in Saul's eyes where he's like, you wait up.
No way.
Is your mom Olvia? Like, I don't know if he says that, but I think he at least says it in his head where he like,
oh no, he does.
He says like, oh, is this O'Hara? Oh, I blew it. Like, that was like the one place he didn't want to end up.
He knows what's gonna happen.
But it's too late because the Navy's already knocking on the door. They're pretty much right there. So yeah,
they're ready. They are ready to lay waste to this island.
They're looking for a reason.
Give me a reason. They have their hands on their gun holster already. The safety's off. The gun is already pulled from the holster. They're telling these inhabitants, give me a reason.
Yeah, and just to be clear, this isn't the Navy, this is the world government.
This is the world government proper.
Yeah,
right.
The world government, yes, is about to lay waste.
They're like all in black. They look a little distinct from the Navy.
Yeah, they're like in suits. They're in suits. But the Navy, obviously, the vice admirals right now are under their direction. So
right. And we have some insight into at least one person that was a vice admiral at this time. Our boy Aokiji. He's a vice admiral here. He's on one of the Navy ships.
I think he's there for the potential Buster Call, right? Is he a vice admiral at this time?
He's a vice admiral.
Yeah, he's a vice admiral.
Yeah, right. So I think he's there for the Buster Call that's like kind of on ready to go.
Yeah, he's like on standby. He's on standby.
You know what's interesting? I'm pretty sure. So HooperTV, you talked about this. I can't remember when, but I think Akainu is one of them too.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
They do show
great.
Him. Mind you, we haven't seen Akainu in the present.
You have no idea who he is at this moment.
We still have not seen him in the present. Correct.
God, that's crazy.
But they show that he's here.
Wow.
Who he is. You don't even see his face. I think he's kind of hooded.
Yeah, no, it's his hat. His hat's covering his eyes.
Or hat. Yeah. So, but he's here.
This was like the perfect setup for what we're about to see after this too. Like to get introduced to Akainu. So
I never noticed that. Like obviously reading it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Akainu. And then but looking back, I'm like, wow, that's your first look at him. Like visually.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice that was the first time we saw him.
It's kind of a blink and you missed it. Like, and again, it was
like one panel.
It's not hung up on. It's like, oh, here's a vice admiral, moving on. He purposely does that, it's not until a reread do you realize, oh, that dude's important. He's been around. He's been in the game for a while, fucking up pirates and archaeologists. Yeah.
So you have heavy hitters just basically surrounding O'Hara. So there's this tension in the air that something is about to go down. And this is where I kind of need a refresher on how exactly this happened. So the Spandine approaches the scholars and Professor Clover. Does Professor Clover say like, let me call the Gorosei or something. Let me explain to them what's going on here. Cause like,
yeah,
did they come over and say that they were gonna burn the books, or like what was the world? What did they threaten the scholars with when they initially got there? That made Professor Clover say, "Well, hold on a second, hold on, let me call the Gorosei."
I think they were all down to be arrested. They were all like, "All right, well,
Okay.
we'll take the bullet." But I think when it became clear that they were going to destroy the history, which kind of shows you like where their kind of hearts lie. It's like I think that's when it became a problem. When they were like going to take out the tree of knowledge.
Okay. Got it.
They were like, "Yo, we can't do that." You know what I mean? Yeah, they put him on the phone in a really cool scene.
I love it.
Gosh, yeah, when he's on the phone with one of the guys, it's very intense, and he starts. This is kind of like big picture world building stuff. In this moment, when he starts talking about like an ancient kingdom, I mean, it feels like stuff we still don't know the answer to, even in the present day, which is crazy. Starts talking about like this ancient kingdom that like holds the key to pretty much everything what happened with the Void Century. And it looks like he's about to say the name of the kingdom, and then it's blam. He goes down.
They say kill him. Kill him.
Yeah,
right now.
Kill him. No more.
I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's not funny that they say kill him, but it's like you see the scale, because it's like, oh my god, dude, you're saying a little bit too much. I think you should kind of stop with where your knowledge is at, because he's building it up. So Professor Clover was able to piece together that the world government was formed, I think, like 700 or 800 years ago, and that was around the time that there's this gap in history, which is the Void Century. And they're basically saying whatever happened during this time period, the world government is going out of its way to hide how they formulated their entity, how they formulated the world government. And so as what HooperTV was saying, they're building up to it. Professor Clover is saying, oh yeah, this was happening. And you could feel it, because the Gorosei were just silent for the most part, because they wanted to see, wait a minute, hold on. Well, let's see how much this man knows. Let him talk. And he's going. As soon as he was about to drop her name, one of the Gorosei says, kill him. Shoot him right now. That's insane. Yeah. And what's even worse is I don't know which Gorosei it was. I think it was the guy that's he's bald, and I think he has like the long beard. I think it's that Gorosei. I think he has glasses. You see a silhouette where I think he was the one that said kill him, and he kind of has his hand in his head where he's like really upset with the next decision he's about to make, and he's like, burn it all.
Yeah, give the order to attack.
Destroy Ohara.
Ohara has learned too much. Give the order to attack is what he says. Don't leave a single soul alive.
That didn't give you chills? Like, come on, guys. Grandmaster, why are you there? Like,
yeah, they almost say the name of one kingdom, and he's like, everybody has to go.
Everyone's out.
We were talking a little bit about this off mic in the beginning, about kind of how like moments like this really solidify One Piece fans. And I think the beauty of One Piece, and it takes you a long time to kind of realize this, is that it's at all times telling like multiple stories. And it's usually like, the kind of main kind of arc or saga you're on is like one of them, and then kind of like what's happening within that saga or arc. But throughout all of One Piece is like this really elongated, overarching story. And man, it's like, it feels like this saga, this arc in particular, really spotlights that. I mean, I think you get that a little bit with, you know, kind of the ancient weapon talk in Alabasta, and you get a little bit of that with the poneglyphs in Skypiea. But like here, it's like, yo, there's a lot happening. You know, there's like really big picture stuff going down in this overall story that I think it really comes to the light, kind of really right here too, you know, within the saga, and also right here in that moment with Ohara.
It kind of paints a goalpost for what we need to know about the world government. If, you know, the Straw Hats or the Revolutionary Army, whoever, if they're going to take them down, they need to uncover what that truth is. Before, it was kind of like, yeah, the world government's corrupt. You know, you have some bad apples in there. They get in the way occasionally. We got to beat them up because, you know, they're going to stop us from progressing further. This flashback right here just solidified there is something at its root in the world government that is heinous. And the reaction to whatever that is from the Gorosei is destroy that island. Destroy everything. I think this is the best arc in One Piece, but we'll talk about that in the finale. But yeah, so Gorosei gives the kill order. They shoot Professor Clover, but as we know, no one really dies from gunshots in the world of One Piece. He just kind of has like a little scratch on his shoulder. No one knows how to aim for the head, but who cares, right? Professor Clover is fine. And they basically start burning the tree, right? The tree with all the books, the library, everything. That's their goal right now. And they're kind of giving an ultimatum for some of these characters that live on the island, because they're like, okay, we're gonna destroy this island. The Buster Claw has been initiated. Everyone that's not a scholar is allowed to evacuate. Go on, get on the ship, evacuate. But the scholars, the people that are, you know, that are participating in the study of archaeology, burn them all with this island. So you have, I know it's silly, but like you have scenes where like the people are trying to stop the fires, and I think it's kind of funny when they're saying like, "Save the books, don't let the books burn."
Of course, save the books. It's knowledge. This is wrong.
Throw them in the river.
You understand? At this point, the world government is on par with Nazis. At this point.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say those books, whatever those books had answers, had time skip answers. They had answers that probably would have saved us hundreds of episodes, but I'm pretty sure that island had straight answers, and that's why they were like, you know what, screw it, blow it up. You know, we just need it gone.
You know what's funny? I'm jumping ahead just a little bit, but I know I'm gonna forget if I don't say it now. They're dumping these books in like the lake that's right outside the World Tree. They're dumping all the books in there, and this is after everything has been burned, like the island is destroyed. The Navy goes back, or the world government, whoever, they go back onto the island to like survey the area, make sure everyone has been, you know, snuffed out. They go to the lake and they see, holy crap, look at all these books in the lake. You could see the bed of the lake that it's just showered in books, and that's the last you see of that. And it's something where it's like, I mean, you would think the water kind of messes up the pages or whatever, but you don't see what happens after that. So part of me wants to believe they saw that, the Navy, they reported that to the government, and they're like, hey, they tossed all the books into this lake. What do you want us to do? They likely scooped that up, and it is tucked away somewhere at Marijois or some other Navy HQ under lock and key. Because you don't show a scene like that where they're tossing all the books into the water, and then you have the Navy find it and then cut to black. We don't know what they did with the books. We don't know if they took them. I mean, they took them. They took them.
Well, half an archaeologist's job is to revive lost treasures.
we don't see Clover or Olvia die on screen, do we, either?
There's no body.
Which
no
is
body.
why I'm saying
There's no body.
an archaeologist's job is to revive and recover lost artifacts.
Oh boy.
Lost history.
We had discourse in our Discord. Check out link in the description box down below. But
I guess maybe the government might be locking away some, powerful minds. We talked about Tom. We didn't talk about that on the podcast.
We did. Tom.
Yeah, we did
about Tom.
Yeah, Tom.
Okay.
I was the one that said it. I was like, I think Tom's alive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we talked about Tom.
That was a good discussion about Tom.
Right.
Correct. We talked about Tom, Olvia, and Clover. Very much could be.
I would say so. They did not show me a body. You could have shown them engulfed in flames.
Be dumb for the government to just off these people and not really. I mean, you want what they can do. It's just that they're doing it not under the government's thumb is the problem. So
yeah,
sure. It's like if you were reading poneglyphs for the 5 elders, I don't think it'd be a problem,
Right.
But no, it's because y'all doing this in secret, trying to,
we don't
hide
trust
from the government.
We don't
Correct.
trust you.
That is the major problem they have with it. So time to put you in chains and you're going to be reading books for the rest of your life. And
well, I mean, going to Olvia, during all this chaos of like buster calls and Gorosei and gunshots and books being lit on fire, you have Olvia that is arrested, and Robin, there's a scene where Robin runs past Olvia in the midst of all the chaos, has no idea that she just ran past her mother. Iconic. Shed a tear. Of course, you're heartless. I forgot.
This was good. The whole, and I think she turned around and she was like, "Are you my mother?"
Well,
yeah.
I don't think she does it yet. She doesn't do it when they
happens-
run past each other. She does it a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the conversation happens and everybody's like tied up on the ground. And I think Clover is like, yo, Robin, nobody knows you're an archaeologist. Keep that under wraps. Go with the citizens, the normal citizens. You'll get out just fine. Just, keep your head down low. Everything will be fine. And Robin's like, I don't know about that. But Clover's like, Robin, I'm serious. It's not a joking matter. And I think Robin agrees. And Robin's like, reluctantly kind of like starts walking that way. And then she sees Olvia. And Robin's like, are you my mother?
Y'all wild for not saying this was the most saddest backstory.
Well, it doesn't stop there.
It doesn't stop there.
Olvia's like, I can't claim her. Olvia's like, dude, I can't do it. I can't claim her in this moment. She'll be like branded for life, this will only bring her sadness if like I claim her right now. I can't claim my own daughter. And Robin's just like not having it. And Robin's like, yo, are you my mom? Mommy, yo, I like studied all these years to be an archaeologist. I put all this time in. I finally passed my test. And she's just going
remember
off.
me? I know I grew a little bit. Yo, God, y'all crazy for saying this. Chopper's a little sad too. No,
and
no.
Olvia can't handle it. Olvia breaks down.
This is sad, but
this is sad.
This is sad.
To the ground.
No, this is peak. This is peak. I'm sorry.
Drops to the ground. Was like, get over here. I can't not claim you. And it's like sad, but it's almost sad in that kind of like happy romantic way, because it's not like Robin doesn't get this one last chance to be with her mom. She does, she's able to like hold her hand and they have like this nice moment together before they're separated for a long time.
Yeah, it's sad, but not the saddest. I'll say that.
Like
I forgot. Syrup Village was the saddest. I forgot.
I don't think it's not a competition. It is very sad. It's very moving. The fact that Robin did all these achievements in the hopes that when her mom did come back, that she'd be proud of her. And now it's this interesting juxtaposition as to why she can't claim her, because if she does, she's going to be branded. But in doing so, also Robin just admitted that she is an archaeologist. She is one of them in front of the agents.
She's branded
right
now.
So at this point, correct. So I think, what did she turn around?
Oh
Olvia?
yeah,
she turns right around.
They
accepts
Right.
like Ovia can't handle it. Ovia has to like kind of just be like, all right, starts breaking down, crying, like brings Robin over. They hold hands, and Robin's like, either Robin or Ovia's like, oh, I always wanted this. I've been looking forward to this, like, just being together again for a long time. And they get a moment together, and then I think that's when Saul shows back up. And then
Right.
Ovia's like, yo, Saul, get her out of here. Robin, you have to, I think you have to like, yeah, you have to live. Back to that live thing. Robin, you have to live. You have to like keep this going, keep the legacy going. And yeah, just like, this ending's really good too, because it doesn't stop there.
It does not stop. You have the Buster Call. It's already been initiated, bombarding the island. It does not discriminate. It goes to everyone. It's attacking.
Yes, if you're in the crossfire, right?
Everyone. The Navy's in the crossfire. They're like, whoa, we're not even off the island yet. What's going on here? And so everyone's fair game that's staying on this island. And then so Saul is basically saying, okay, Robin, you gotta get to the evacuation ship. Or actually, wait, is it
I'm looking at it now.
What brings Robin to the evacuation ship? Is it Saul or is that her running on her own?
I think that might be her running on her own. Saul's like fighting off the Marines.
Okay, he's lifting up those warships barehanded and slamming them into other ones.
Yeah,
and then I think the evacuation ship doesn't make it.
I think Saul lets Robin go. Saul lets Robin go, and then there's so much. Robin gets to the evacuation ship. The evacuation ship says, "No, you're a demon. We're not letting you on."
It's the citizens. The citizens don't let her on because they hated her.
No, get out of here. We don't like you. You're a demon. You're an archaeologist. They'll come after us if you're on board. No. Ugh. Gut wrenching.
It is gut wrenching. But then poetic.
He returns to Saul after that. And I think they're heading towards like his raft. And that's when Kuzan shows up.
Well, hold on. Before they get to wait, is it the Kuzan part where you see the evacuation ship? What happens to it?
We know the evacuation ship gets blown up, right? Nobody makes it off. Nobody makes it off.
No one. Yeah, because
they meet Kuzan. Okay. and then
right, because Kuzan witnesses it. You're right.
Because Kuzan's like, yo, I would never do that. That's not me. Like that's some other crazy vice admiral who we discover is Akainu.
Great, fantastic.
Akainu. Yeah. Mr. Magma, as I like to call him. He's
and he has some sense.
They refer to him as Sakazuki, or his actual name.
Actually, is there a reason? So, like, we know Admiral Aokiji. That's what.
Is there a reason why they have the titles?
Kuzan,
like they're titles now. I guess.
Wait. So what's the title? Kuzan or Aokiji?
No, Kuzan is his name.
Oh, Kuzan's his name.
He doesn't get Aokiji until he becomes Admiral.
So
and same thing
is his title.
Correct.
And then Akainu that's his title.
That's his title. Correct.
So what's his name?
Sakazuki.
Okay.
Sakazuki
at this moment. Yeah.
Got it. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
And that's another reason, because again, some people don't know. Well, some people forget. For example, Borsellino, that is Kizaru. Who's Kizaru? That's his real name.
Right.
So if you did not connect that they said Sakazuki in this moment, later on you may not recognize him as Akainu. So
okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
And he's like with his relentless justice, whatever the real title for that is.
What's his justice? Is it absolute? No.
I thought it was absolute.
I think right? Absolute sounds right.
Absolute. Okay.
Well, actually, justice. Speaking of justice, that we didn't really mention it. Saul really did let Ovia go because he was now questioning the government's sense of justice, because everybody has conflicting senses of justice. And speaking of what Kuzan is about to do right now, Kuzan So what happens? Saul catches up with Robin, but Kuzan is like hot on their trail, and I think he does ice time.
He does ice time on
whichever one he freezes people. He starts to freeze.
He freezes Saul.
Right.
Yeah, he freezes him. But he agrees to let Robin go. He's like, whatever reason, I'm gonna let you go this time. And so he creates that long pathway for Robin to take the raft to like the next island.
Right.
But not before that. Saul goes on his big speech, which I think is crucial to this entire saga, crucial to Robin's character. I'm gonna do a little segment that I like to call HooperTV Reads. Saul says, "Listen carefully, Robin. Huff. You are all alone right now, but someday, without a doubt, you will meet friends. The sea is vast. Someday for sure, you'll find friends who will protect you. No one is ever born into this world completely alone. Run, Robin, don't look back. And when it's unbearable, remember what I taught you. Laugh like this." Grandmaster Hoop, do you want to hit it?
Dada she. Dada she.
He says, "Somewhere out at sea, I know they're waiting. Go and find your friends, Robin." Good stuff. Good.
It only took 20 years. But
I will say it is definitely, at times Robin forgot this little speech.
Well, immediately after, her life is shit.
Right.
Yeah, she's trying. You can't knock. 2 decades is a long time.
No, it's true. It's just, she was losing hope.
She was losing hope. She was down on her luck. She was ready to be stuck in a cave-in, and then this monkey boy comes and saves her.
The flashback pretty much ends showing a montage of all the shit Robin's kind of like gotten into since then, where she'll meet somebody, they'll be like, "Oh, there's a wanted poster for her, maybe we should betray her," and it's kind of like a bunch of like moments like that where she really can't catch a break until she meets Crocodile of all people.
Well, that's where she got her bounty originally from. She's the demon child of Ohara. She's the sole survivor.
Survivor
of these people who wanted to destroy the world. Is that how they framed the world?
That's how they framed it. Yeah, they're the demons of Ohara. They have some grand plan to destroy the world. They never explain how, but it's like, you see these people, Robin's the last of them. Like
demon.
It is crazy because Robin, and as we said in the beginning of this flashback, Robin was called like a demon from the very start. Even before this happened, she struggled to make friends. Her whole life has been pretty rough.
And I just love this flashback because, not only with the Robin segments, but you really get a taste of what the world government is about. You have Akainu blowing up evacuation ships with absolute justice. And, to his credit, he rationalized it. It's not like he just blew it up for fun. He's like, if there was a single scholar that snuck on to that boat, it was over. It's over. So better safe than sorry, I guess. So he blasts that sucker. Logic. It is terrible. It is terrible. But at least it came from somewhere rather than, oh yeah, look at that ship, let me blow it up.
But it just, again, it all just paints the picture that the world government holds itself above the lives of innocent people, and it's no middle ground, no half
black
measures,
and white.
No half measures. If we're destroying the island, we're destroying everybody on that island.
And Kuzan reminds Robin, he's like, listen, I do not confuse this gesture I do for you as if I'm your friend. I am not your friend. I am not your friend. If I see you again, I promise you it's not going to be good. And he gives her a warning, and I think she doesn't see him for 20 years.
20 years. 20
Very
years.
crazy.
It's crazy. And yeah, he does not see her for 20 years until the fateful day with the Straw Hats.
And to your guys' point, I just wanted to double down on this because it's crucial into what's about to happen. Is that, you know, you as a reader are getting this flashback. Robin's not expressing this to the crew members. But by the end of this flashback, you as a reader, you as an anime watcher, hate the world government.
Oh, you hate
them. They're the worst. They've done this to Robin. Robin's been going through so much shit her entire life. All you want is for Robin to get back with the crew. It's like this building emotion that Oda is just like kind of cultivating within everybody watching, everybody reading.
You know what's
build to this next like gigantic moment.
You know what's really interesting is that, you know, in anybody's run through One Piece, the world government is never painted in a positive light. And it's interesting because in this world, as a reader or a watcher, you view the pirates as kind of just, you know, going about their freedom. And
well, at least Luffy's
correct.
pirates,
and it's not necessarily that pirates are de facto bad, but it just sucks because as much as we get the world government painted as bad, we have to assume that there is more numbers of pirates out there doing bad things to where the regular citizen has not stopped putting faith in the world government. So it's very interesting because there's probably a multitude of pirates out here committing heinous acts, but it's like the world government is doing less heinous acts, but the gravitas of the acts that they do commit are world changing and world threatening. That
it dwarfs anything a pirate will ever do.
Correct. And it's like the regular citizen sweeps it under the rug. And by the time they do realize it, they're getting hit by a vice admiral ship and bam, it's over.
Well, I mean, it's not even like the citizens are even sweeping it under the rug. That's their newspaper is from the world government, and from their
very true.
They paint the picture like that for O'Hara is like
not always. We haven't met him yet, right? We haven't met our
bird.
Friend.
The
Big Jones, big something Morgan.
I don't know his name.
Morgan.
The bird.
Oh,
the bird. Yeah,
right.
We'll get to him, I guess.
We'll get to him.
But yeah.
But yeah, they paint that image of like, yeah, we obliterated an island full of infidels. they were gonna destroy the world. Congratulate your local Navy officer for doing a job well done.
Terrible.
That's how they paint it. And it's sad because that's the last. That flashback closes out with Robin sailing away on that singular lane to the next island, and she's trying to make the laugh of Jaguar D. Saul.
Yes.
While crying.
Yes. When you feel sad, just laugh. And she's trying.
And the stupidest laugh ever they made it.
I love it.
Very stupid laugh.
So good.
I love it. So from there, that's where we kind of transition back into the present. We're now back with, Robin just basically telling the Straw Hats again, hey, I am a danger to you guys, my friends. Like, this is her first time really explaining why she left the crew. There's no vagueness. She's laying it all on the table. This is why I left.
And if you will let me, I will quickly do my favorite segment, HooperTV Reads. It's so important, Grandmaster Hoop. It's so important.
I'm not saying it's not important.
He's an admiral. What do you do?
It's crucial. It's crucial to everything. Yeah. It's just like, so she's like first with Aokiji, there's just people who are more powerful than you guys. And she says, if this is to continue forever, no matter how kind and passionate you all are, someday it will become too much of a burden. Someday you'll betray me and cast me aside. That's my greatest fear. That's why I didn't want you to come rescue me. If I'm going to die someday anyway, I want to die here. And it's just like, and it just has to do with like her entire past, what we've just gone through, to Dr. Jace. She's finally making it very clear that, you know, she's been betrayed so much her entire life, and she's never really had a home, that if this crew was to, you know, give up or betray her or like let her down, like it would be too much to hurt. It would be too much hurt for her to be able to handle. And that's just so sad. You know, it's like
poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah, it's dare I say layers.
Ooh. Interesting.
It's it's just so good. It's just so good. And I think once again, it comes at a perfect time within this kind of pacing Oda's on right now. Because in the very next scene, Spandam is just like, you idiots, who do you guys think you are? This is not me reading. You idiots, who do you think you are? And he points up at the flag and he's like, you know what that flag represents? That represents the world government. That's what Robin's deathly afraid of. That's the power of like 200 countries or whatnot.
Yeah, he has a pretty in-depth breakdown of like what the world government represents.
Yeah, he's like, yo, this is everything.
It's heavy stuff. Actually, I'm
then we get it. Who wants to take
quick? 100. Okay, here 100. It represents the unity of more than 170 nations allied across the 4 seas and the Grand Line. It represents the world. It's in the title. It's the world government. And that next line Luffy gives, he says, "Soga King."
Oh no! Stop. That is not how he says it. You haven't watched this in the anime.
Okay, I mean, what he says, I totally get who Robin's enemy is, and then he says Soga King. I saw it.
No, okay, one Soga. No. Okay, no.
I can show it to you. I can show you the panel.
Your delivery is not it. Your delivery is not it.
Deliver.
And I think Kame Chris can attest to what I'm talking about now. Deliver. He goes Soga King. Like he says it so softly, but with it, there's so much intensity. He's like, Soga King. And Soga King's like, does he say Rod? I think he's like Roger.
He just agrees, yeah.
And then boom, there it goes. Special Firebird Star.
Well, no, he tells him, shoot down that flag.
Correct. And he's like, Roger,
yes.
So yes, but it's the way he says Soga King. It's like it's just very intense. And again, this means business. This is not business at this point. This is war.
Yeah, the people watching, I guess the government officials watching are like, yo, the pirates have made a declaration of war against the world government. Spandam's like, are you out of your mind? What are you thinking? All of like the world government's powers are gonna come after you. And Luffy's just like, bring it on. Like, just let's go. Like, it's great. It's great
beauty. Screw the world. We're here for our friend. And he follows that up with, Robin, I haven't heard you say it yet. You gotta give it to me. You gotta say it.
Yep.
Say you want to live, Robin. And
these are such great panels.
I'm get these now. I'm telling you, this is the best arc. It's the best arc. Period.
But these panels are amazing.
It's genius. It's genius.
It's Luffy yelling that. It's all the crew members.
It's Robin's flashback.
Like,
it's
Rob
past.
Yes. They show the flashbacks, and it's all the people that betrayed her and made her not want to have faith in anybody else. Have faith in humanity, have faith in her friends. Like
that last flashback, the last one that she sees is the one Usopp gave her, where he says, have faith in Luffy.
Yep. Oh,
it's good. It's good.
Oh,
I want to live.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's
Grandmaster, you better shed a tear. What's wrong with you?
I don't need to shed a tear.
You're heartless.
I agree.
Heartless.
I never said this wasn't an emotional scene. I think it's one of the peak emotional scenes in One Piece.
I think
but it's also
the peak emotional. Scene.
But you forget
That's
it's
what
not
you
like
think.
it's
no,
not.
it's a fact.
But it's not like sad emotion here. It's happy. You're happy for Robin that she finally
A mixture of
wants
both, I
to
would say.
live. She
Yeah,
wants to
I
live.
was like,
This is-
oh my god, yes, like Robin, let's go. Like,
Yes,
let's save her,
yeah.
you know, like
It's-
come on. You know, that's
We've been
what it
waiting
gave.
for this. We've been waiting for it to break through. You know, we
so
were
that's what I'm
talking
saying.
about
It's more happy than sad. I wouldn't.
It's a
I'm not
happy,
sad.
like you're shedding tears out of just
Of
the
joy.
emotions that are. Yes, I mean yes. It's sad. You're happy. You're tears. You have
Yes.
tears coming down your face.
Yes, I never said this wasn't.
I
Oh,
was
no.
laughing in this scene.
Hooper,
says
I mean,
Grandmaster.
Grandmaster Hoop, you must be heartless. No, I am not heartless. I totally understand what's going on. I think it's a fantastic scene. This whole sequence is top 5 One Piece, in my opinion. And again,
Top 5.
and again,
Top
and
one.
again, y'all keep talking
Yeah.
about, that's fine. I don't know. I never rank these things. But y'all keep talking about these panel shots, and I'm telling you right now, I feel you really don't get panel shots like this in current chapters. So
in like the
I don't-
current day.
Oh, you mean
yeah,
like-
in the current day,
Oh yeah,
This is peak.
yeah. You don't.
This is
yeah.
peak.
Again,
this is
I
at its best.
this is
Yeah,
what I was
so-
saying before. Like we'll read into it when we catch up with like all the recent arcs in One Piece, like in post time skip and New World. I think Oda's paneling and rereading old One Piece. I think Oda was on his A game with paneling, like around this time in One Piece. Recently, I don't think he's on the same game as before. Maybe I need to reread those arcs and back to back, but this is peak. Like, for God's sake, that panel with the flashbacks with
Ugh.
everything where she's about to break and say I want to live, that
It's perfect
amazing.
because you're getting all that. You're seeing tears starting to flow. You see her open her mouth, and then the next page, right in your face, is "I want to live." Tears flowing. It's perfect.
Beauty.
Like as a reading experience, it is perfect. You're not getting you're not seeing it on the other page where you can kind of peek ahead. It's laid out. It's genius. It's great stuff.
And this is
So-
our first time we get adult Robin ugly cry. And that's
Yeah.
all we needed. We got Sanji ugly cry, Usopp. We had everyone ugly cry, except maybe Zoro. Zoro's never
No,
ugly
Zoro,
cried.
you don't remember Zoro's like a cry, do you? He cried after he lost to Mihawk.
I was thinking.
Oh, that's
what
right.
I was
Okay,
thinking.
okay, right.
Yeah, he's
That was just one ugly cry.
Should never lose again.
He did
Right.
have an ugly cry. He did have an
Yeah,
ugly
he had a
cry.
terribly. Everybody's had their ugly cry. Yes.
So Robin was the only one that was left. She's like, she's got to have an ugly cry moment. They gave it to her here. And at that point,
Great.
Luffy's like, equals all. And he tells all the Straw Hats, I think they're trying to lower the bridge. The
bridge
Frankie
is
family.
lowering at that moment. It's
Yes.
the Frankie
tension being
family and
built.
Polly and them, yeah, they're lowering the bridge. But
It's like right after they declare war, Robin says, "I want to live." The bridge is being lowered. Like, you know what I mean? It's not
fate. It's
it's not like Oda jumping back to them. It's just like, yo, bridge is being lowered. It's go time. Lucci is like, all right.
Oh,
I'm
Lucci's
ready.
excited. He's
Lucci's
very
stoked.
excited. He has it
Lucci's
already.
excited.
oh, I think Lucci. He's like, oh, well, they beat Bluno.
He's
and-
smiling. Lucci is smiling. He is smiling.
Lucci wants it.
Correct,
Lucci
and then
wants
Spandam's over here like, they can't come over here. If they come over here, protect me.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Yeah.
So what
Robin's like,
happens?
Take me to sea with you, and then yeah. All right, we slowed down for that part, and I feel like
It was important. It was very
it was
important. You slow down.
So we can
knock
speed
these
up
out.
a little here.
We can knock
We can
these
speed up a
fights
little
out.
here.
I know Grandmaster wants to talk about, some of the early fights right here because he loves these fights.
Well, I was gonna say, first, they have to get across, and I think Kokoro
Yes. So
flies.
the bridge.
The drawbridge
stops
gets
working.
stuck.
It
Yeah.
jams, right.
Somebody says you need to just jump forward, and they jump. Frankie jumps too.
No, Frankie doesn't jump. I think they toss Frankie.
No, they push Frankie.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
they put-
CP9 pushed Spandam pushed Frankie off because he burned the Pluton plans.
Oh God, Jesus. Okay, wait. Right.
Yeah,
wait.
I was just about to say we skipped. So
rewind. I was. Yes, you see, we
that
can move
right
up
here.
Yes, y'all made me forget.
That's why he got
Jeezy
pushed.
The whole time Robin is over here having her flashback, and you forget Frankie is building a relationship this whole entire time. Him and Robin are captured. He is the one who's making her question about her life and makes her think about, why do you not want to live? You have all these friends to live for. Frankie is the one question, and then he hears the story, and Frankie's the one to find the heart in most people's tales, despite however Frankie's been told that Robin's a demon child his whole life, and that if she gets a hold of these plans, the world is doomed. But Frankie is moved by Robin's story.
Well, it's not whether she gets a hold of the plans. The plans are a contingency against Robin because she can activate Pluton. If she activates Pluton, they have blueprints to build another one to counter it.
Right. So my whole thing is, during this whole sequence, Frankie is moved the entire time by Robin, and then her eventual plea to live and whatnot. He's like, all right, I'm gonna do everything I can to help her. And so he stands up and he looks at Spandam. He's like, "Oh, Spanda!" He opens his refrigerator where he puts his cola, and he pulls out the Pluton plans. He had it the whole time in the safest place he knows, his front side, in his refrigerator where he stores his soda power. And I think immediately he just lights it on fire.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he says, like, I have faith in Robin, and
I'm putting. He says I'm betting on the Straw Hats.
Yeah,
and Robin. Yeah.
This volume, I think if there's if you only collect a handful of volumes in all of One Piece, this cover right here, volume 41, has the declaration of war, the burning of the blueprint, Robin's flashback, I Want to Live. It really has it all. I think this is a key volume to have if you're into that thing.
I will purchase my first volume. Maybe
you don't have a single volume of
I don't
One
own
Piece,
a single volume of any.
You
manga.
are on the Yonkō Table.
I am a pure anime watcher, except for Fishman Island and onward. So
goodness.
But at this point, see, Spandam has lost. His whole thing is lost. You kill Nico Robin was one thing, but he was supposed to bring back the plans and Cutty Flam, and then he was gonna put them to work. But at this point, he's lost. So well, he says, he pushes them, and he also says, if the Straw Hats come over here, kill them. It's not even about, well, protect me. He's like, Lucci, you come with me.
Right. He knows Lucci's the top dog. He's like, they ain't touching me as long as you're right next to me.
I hate him. He's the worst.
He is the worst.
He's the worst.
That's the worst.
So he tells them if they come over here, kill them. It's not even about plans. It's just revenge at this point, and him staying alive. So they got to get across the drawbridge. Here comes Kokoro, I think, on the Rocket Man.
Somebody says jump, and Luffy grabs everybody. He's like, okay, jumps just in time for the Rocket Man to blast through the courthouse, run into Frankie, and then bulldoze into the Tower of Law.
Right.
And it's important for like kind of setting wise is that they don't run right into CP9. They just kind of like go into the building where they are. So
right, because CP9 has done the anime video game thing where they have split up into their separate rooms, awaiting for their challenge. And I think it's Fukuro who comes out and says, if you want to save Robin, you need to get the right key to unlock her sea cuffs.
Yes, because this is it. This is when we begin the fights. This is when the fights begin.
CP9.
So,
which is pretty iconic.
It is because they were questioning like, why isn't Robin using her devil fruit? And they're like, oh, those must be sea prism cuffs on her. Right. So they need to get these. They need to get her cuffs off. So now it's a race against time. They're forced to fight versus just chasing after, Lucci and Spandam. They have to find the key.
What I like about these, and I can't remember if they did this in Alabasta, or Arlong, but there's even more characters now, is that they're all taking place like kind of the same time. It's not like they're sectioning off the fights. It's not like this fight happened and this fight happened and this fight happened. There's like so much overlap.
There's chaos. Some fights even overlap a little bit.
Yeah, Arlong definitely.
They switch. It's great.
Arlong definitely the fights were one after the other. It was a build up.
That's what I thought too.
Alabasta was pretty simultaneously as well.
Okay.
They were just all over the map. Like you had some in the desert, you had some in the city.
Yeah, because Arlong Park was literally all right there in Arlong Park, except for when Usopp runs off.
And what I like about this one, at least, is that, like, they like switch it up. You know what I mean? It's like Usopp v. Jabra first.
Well, time out. Wait. Don't get ahead. Don't get ahead.
Where are we at? Okay,
so the first fight, I believe.
Me to slow down now.
Well, yes, because don't just say Usopp versus Jabra.
I forgot you have a fight that you really want to get into.
No, because Usopp versus Jabra there's some really comedic build up to what happens. It's not just
I wasn't going to move past it. I wasn't going to move past it.
No, I would say, this is how the anime goes. The first one that they set up is Frankie versus Fukuro. Yeah. Frankie is getting the first fight. And I guess this is the first fight. It's Frankie versus Fukuro. What's Fukuro's big deal? He's just a 6 powers wielder.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any gimmicks.
He's got the gimmick. He's got the gimmick of, he's like, shut your mouth. He's like, zip it up.
I mean, the mouth, but his abilities.
Correct.
He's just a 6 power user, and it seems like a decent matchup for Frankie to showcase his kit, his cyborg kit.
Right. Because during this whole fight, Frankie's losing power because he's running low on cola, so he needs more cola. So, this is kind of tough because there are a lot of simultaneous movements.
There's a lot happening.
So I was like, we got Chopper here, right?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I think I was gonna say we go to Chopper
doesn't
next,
show up yet.
But we don't go to Chopper next. We can talk about Zoro. Zoro at first.
Let's just put it out to the audience. We're not going to get the perfect order of who shows up where. We're going to do our best, but there's probably going to be some missteps here and there. But I think we can do it for the most part.
It's pure chaos.
But I think I got a good handle. So if we go to Zoro runs into Kaku. And
you're like, okay, here we go.
And Kaku has swords out. So it's like, okay, we got a swordsman fight.
And what's his devil fruit?
You're
questioning.
No, stop. So
I'm not gonna remove
you are
devil
questioning.
Fruit. You're
sorry,
questioning it. You're like,
you
he
are
ate
questioning
it.
He's
there, and you're like, what's he gonna do? What's his gimmick?
Yes. So you're questioning it, and they're fighting, and then he's like, "Let me show you," and we're gonna stop right there.
That's where it stops.
Yes. Okay. And now we're gonna hop to, and don't trust me. I got this. Let's just check in on Sanji. We're gonna check in on Sanji. Okay. Sanji.
Wait. Don't jump around too much. Just stick to one fight. Talk it all through.
But that's the thing. You can't. Yeah, you really can't.
You can,
but it's not fun. It's
just
not
when it gets to the next fight, talk how that one starts, and then you get to that point.
No.
Let Grandmaster do it this way because I understand what he's getting at. I know what he's getting at.
Once you. Right, you got to set you have to set everybody up. First.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, Frankie versus Fukuro started. Technically, Usopp is running around. Usopp's running around right now.
You can't keep doing Kaku and Zoro, because significant things happen. There's bleed over. So yeah, I do think this is the only way to do it.
Yes, right. It would not do it justice if you just talk about it.
These are the meetups.
Yeah, the meetups. Yeah.
Fukudo slamming in from the ceiling, literally like the Hulk in the MCU. He's about to fight Frankie. That's his 1v1. The next one you have, Usopp's running along door to door. He's like, oh, is the key in here? Nope. Oh, is the key in here? Nope.
He's not.
He is doing that. He is opening these doors.
And this is why I'm telling you, you have to watch the anime. He is opening the door so freaking fast.
Yeah, that's what he's doing in the manga.
But I'm telling you that the anime delivers it so much.
I'm sure it does.
You see the fluidity. He's like, nope. He moves on.
All right, I'll probably look it up because that
you
does
have
sound
to
funny.
watch it. I'm telling you. So but see, that's why I wanted to hold off on Usopp.
Oh, well, I mean, he's next.
He's the first. He's
next.
the first bleed over. So okay,
so
fine.
we're not trying to go in order.
See, this is why
Trust me, I got this.
Okay,
let's just
go ahead.
Save Usopp for last because he's like the first real bleed.
We'll save him for last.
He's the first real bleed over. Okay. So you have Sanji. He runs into Khalifa, and
you know Sanji's not gonna win this fight.
Correct, because Sanji, and he proves it here, he cannot kick a girl, but
she asks, "Would you
she
like
does
some
ask.
tea?"
He shows her how to make the perfect tea, and then I think she kicks the shit out of him. And then she's like, fight me, and he's like, I will not fight you, I will not kick a girl. And he really tries to kick her, and then he like stops every time. So we'll pause there because it looks like a lost fight for Sanji. Nami runs into Kumadori.
Yeah,
I don't like this guy. He's my least favorite.
Probably.
What does he say? Yo-yoy? Yo-yoy?
Yo-yoy!
Okay.
Yo-yoy!
I only ever read his dialogue in the manga, so I never know. Like in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, this is yo-yoy. But is that what he's saying?
No, this is he's like, yo-yoy! That's like literally his voice.
Gross. Okay.
There's I'm gonna call it out here. There's I think Oda has some pervy tendencies, and I would say this what's his name? Kumadori.
Yeah,
the pink
Kumadori
hair?
With his octopus-like hair, which they call out, kind of grabbing this young girl and kind of like.
Oh.
I mean, these tendencies were very shown already multiple times. Every girl character we get is like, oh,
no. It doesn't get worse than what happens in Thriller Bark, but we'll save that. It does not get worse.
Yeah, this moment was probably the worst up to this point.
Well, when he draws it,
the
way he draws it is very sensual.
Like, come on, let's move on. Like,
anyways, Kumadori, Nami.
Well, Nami, she easily steals his key. However, he
shows her skills.
Right.
I like that.
He does ensnare her, so she's ensnared currently. All right. Okay. Now Chopper will come later, but now let's go to Usopp. Oh, sorry. Meanwhile, Luffy is running around screaming, "Pigeon guy!"
Well, he goes all the way to the top of the tower, realizes they're no longer there. I think Kokoro and
not Kokoro, Chimney and Gombe are running around. They're actually trailing. Well, they found a secret passage.
Luffy's logic is, let me head to the gates of justice, because that's where they're going. It's the gates of justice, and that's when he eventually will bump into Chimney and the cat. And they're like, oh, well, we were following around Spandam, and there's like an underground passage. Well, Luffy actually tries swimming across in a boat.
He doesn't try swimming. There's a boat.
No, in a boat, right?
Yeah, well, the boat, because the whirlpools are going on, right? Because the gates are opening.
Right. Yeah, the boat like destroys itself pretty quickly.
And so he's drowning, and she's like, "Mr. Pirate Guy, I'm trying to tell you, there's a secret passage over here."
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. Chopper will come. Usopp. So like we said, Usopp is sneaking indoors, and he's like, "Nope, no one's here. And he finally opens one, and there's someone there. And and again, I don't know if they did this in the manga, but it's Jabra.
It's
And
Jabra. It's Jabra. Whatever you're about to
second strongest member of CP9.
So okay, listen, you chime in if
Go
it's
ahead.
different at all.
Go ahead,
Okay.
go
I
ahead.
think it's
So
probably going to be the same.
So
It's
Jabra
hilarious.
You don't change
Jabra
this.
is sleeping, and he puts his key right in front of him.
Go
He
on.
even has like a thing of sake, and so
He
he's
does.
also like drunk
He does.
too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
And this is not
And-
a fake out. He's asleep.
he's asleep. He's
actually
legit
asleep.
asleep. So Usopp's like, okay. I have to avoid a fight.
I lucked out. This is
He's like, these
great.
guys are crazy strong. But yeah, he's like, I lucked out. He's asleep. All I gotta do is sneak over there. And tiptoe, he's like, okay, here we go. And he's like doing this, and then he like anytime Jabra, I think his snot bubble pops, and he like runs all the way back.
Okay, that's different. He doesn't do
They're
that.
stretching it out. They're stretching it out.
Okay.
I think that okay,
I
yeah,
can
you
buy
tell
that.
me-
I can buy
you
that.
tell
I can
me when listen, so
No, well, the
He
climax
starts-
I think is the same.
he starts sneaking more, and then a bee flies in.
A bee?
Yeah,
Oh,
bee flies in.
My God.
Oh wow!
It gets so much worse.
Listen, the bee.
Well, I think
is
we've
like-
got the same climax. That's my
listen,
guess.
listen, the bee lands on his nose, and he's like, "Come on, you stupid bee!" Of all the times, and it stings him. It stings him.
Oh.
And he's like, "Whoa!" And like he's not screaming. He's like screaming in his head, and he's writhing in pain. And so when the bee stings him, he like backs all the way back, and he's like, "Dang, I'm back to where I started."
If there was a scene to drag out, this was it. This
Yeah,
was
this
All
is
right,
good.
and so this one, so now he's sneaking again, and he's got this big bump on his nose too, and he's so close, and a chicken,
okay.
Yep.
That
Okay.
there.
Yes.
a
there we go.
rooster, and
The
he's like,
rooster shows
he's
up.
like the loudest animal, and what would you be doing here at this time? And he's like, and I
just
think
like, don't chirp. Don't.
And you see,
Sure.
it's funny
Or
because
don't crow.
don't cluck.
yeah, don't
or-
crow.
yeah,
don't
don't
crow.
crow.
He says don't crow, and then the rooster he like builds it up, and then he lets out
The
a sound.
the rooster makes eye contact with
Yes.
Usopp. It's like
Yeah,
look,
it's like-
and it starts sweating like it's gearing up for
And
the
he
loudest.
He doesn't make a loud sound. He makes some stupid sound, and Usopp goes,
Bark.
and he goes, "Roosters don't make that sound."
And then that's what.
And that's what works.
Oh, he made a weird sound. That's
No,
what it
Yeah,
was?
Usopp
it was
yeah,
a
he-
very weird sound. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, like I don't even know how to like.
Oh,
And
okay.
then
Make it.
Usopp yells, "What kind of rooster is that?"
Is
And
that?
then-
And then he woke up. Yeah.
And
Oh,
Jobra's like, well, time to get started. Picks up the key, punches Usopp through the
Decks
sky.
him. Decks
Oh,
him. Just
man.
boom.
It's sad. And then at this point too, now at this point we're getting into some devil fruit showing off, because I believe Jabber's like, I'm gonna have fun with you, and
Jobber doesn't waste any time. Jobber's like,
Right. Go
wolf
straight
mode.
for it.
yeah,
wolf mode. He's the wolf. He's the dog fruit wolf model.
don't like
And
him. Like him as a villain, don't like.
oh, he's an asshole.
I mean, yeah,
He's-
he doesn't really have a character outside of laying out these traps for
God, he's-
someone to
I
fall
don't know.
for.
The cross when they do the crossover thing, I don't know if it happens in the manga, but he has a lot of dialogue with because
we'll
Sogeki, so yeah.
he has some. I don't know if the manga does it. He's some funny dude.
Oh, what he says with
Sanji.
what he says with Kaku is really
Yeah,
funny.
it's the whole interaction.
Okay, yeah. Here we go.
Okay,
Here we
wait,
go.
okay,
Here we go. So
this
he's
is-
about
so-
to.
Right.
He's about to put
Go
a
ahead.
finishing blow on Usopp, and again, Usopp feels terrible again. He's like, "Damn, I'm so weak, and these guys
Yep.
are so strong." And then, just before he does the finishing blow, you see Zoro falling through the ceiling, and you see a square-nosed giraffe. And like, I think Jabra looks up and he's like, "Is that your devil fruit?" Ah! And they do like a little reconvene. It's like Usopp's like, Zoro, what are you doing falling through the ceiling? And then they're able to have this conversation because Jabra and Kaku are over here, and Jabra's like, wow, really nice devil fruit. And he's like, what's wrong? I like it. He's like, oh yeah, it's great. And he's like, he's trying to hold in so much laughter. And he's like, and then he's like, he says stuff like, why did all your parts come out square?
I mean, I like how Kaku tries to like rationalize it. He's saying things like, giraffes are great. I love giraffes. I love them.
Yes, he's like, he's over here like, I like my devil
it.
fruit.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's funny. Like Jabra's just giving him so much crap for the devil fruit. He's saying
that's
the dumbest. That is the dumbest devil fruit.
Grandmaster has to keep going because that's not even the best part.
Well, it's Usopp's making fun of him too. Everybody's like laughing at Kaku, and Kaku's like, well, I'll show you. And he starts doing that giant one where he's twisting his body.
He does Sky Slicer.
Sky Slicer. So prior to the Sky Slicer, I believe Usopp found some cuffs. Usopp found some sea cuffs. And I think it's he tries shooting them at
yes,
Jabra,
right,
and Kaku, but
and
because
he's laughing
because Kaku's giraffe form is so funny, he misses and puts it on
Zoro. He hits Zoro, right? And so he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I can't help it. I'm laughing so hard.
I was too busy laughing."
And so Kaku does the Sky Slicer.
Sky
and
Slicer
Usopp like a dummy,
whole tower in half.
Cuts the tower
in half,
of
diagonally. Like the top part is sliding off at this point.
Right.
And Usopp is just standing there, and he's about to get hit by one of the slices. So Zoro does the noble thing, and he tackles Usopp, and saves his life. And then Zoro's like, all right, we got to get up and we got to fight these guys.
I love this guy.
And so I think Zoro stands up, and he's like, what are you doing yanking on my arm, Zoro? He's like, what are you talking about? And then it shows that in the scuffle of him saving Usopp, they are now cuffed together. And what proceeds is one of the funniest gags is now they have to fight two powerhouse CP9 dudes with these devil fruits handcuffed together, and they're like, yep. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna fight? And someone could take it. What?
I was gonna say Soga Key's greatest idea ever. That almost worked.
I mean, it was sound logic. Like, yeah,
3 times.
Slap the cuffs on these characters to nullify their devil fruits. Sounds simple enough.
No, it was the other plan. He had another plan. He was going to get them to fight against each other. So they were at the bridge, and you had Kaku and Jabra next to each other. So it was like, oh, we should get these. He told Zoro, oh, we should get these guys to fight against each other or to turn against each other. He was like, I know a perfect way. He was like, I think giraffes are a better, are a superior animal.
I forgot about this.
And then Kaku was like, yeah. Kaku was like, yeah, I feel that. And then he was like, but wolves are so ferocious and so fast and amazing. He's like, yeah, I think, yeah, actually. Jabra's like, yeah, that's true. So then Kaku said, Jabra's like, oh, well, I don't think, they're going back and forth about just about this dumbest shit. Then they're about to start fighting each other. Then Zoro and Usopp are yelling at each other. And then Usopp goes, Zoro goes, oh, that's never gonna work. They're not gonna think to fight each other. And then they're like, oh, that was the plan. And then they do it again. I forget how they do it exactly again, but Usopp convinces them to start fighting again. So they were like, oh wait, what? They start looking at each other again, fighting all over again. And then they got over it. And then that's when you had the whole four swordsmen, Zoro Usopp style, pull up, and Usopp's like attached to Zoro's arm. He's like,
well, again, Zoro is strong. Like people forget, Zoro like works out like all the time. It's either he's working out, sleeping. He can very much carry Usopp's body weight.
Yeah, Zoro's first idea was to one of them cut off their hands.
Oh yes, that was one too.
He was serious. He wasn't joking.
He was very serious.
Yeah. And Usopp was not having it. And then Zoro was like, I have another idea. And then Usopp was like, I don't want to hear it. Your first idea was terrible. And then they do the Usopp as a sword standing straight, which is really funny. It's a very good gag.
It's funny because when they do start fighting like this, if Zoro misses, they punch the crap out of Usopp. So he gets the blunt end of it all. But Chopper runs by the room. And notices this fight. And he's like, Chopper, you got to go get one of the keys.
Wait, no, Chopper tells him, that looks like fun. Chopper had no idea. He saw them running around with cuffs. And he tells them, that looks like fun, guys. What's going on there? And then he tells them the serious bit that they need the keys for the cuffs.
Right. So now we'll get away from this and we'll chime in on Chopper. So Chopper is now on a mission. He's got to get the keys. Not only do they got to find a key for Robin, now they got to go get a key to unlock Usopp and Zoro. And the first person Chopper runs into, he sees Nami being strangled. So he does one of those clover with his hooves to Kumadori. Right. And he hits the crap. Yeah, he's pretty strong. He hurts Kumadori. So he does some damage to Kumadori, knocks him out for a while. Nami says, she got the key. That was the first thing she got. And they're like, and he explains the situation to her. And then Nami's like, all right, I'll try to, swipe some more keys. And Chopper's like, I'll handle that guy, Kumadori. And then out from the ceiling falls Sanji. And Sanji, are you muted?
Yeah, I was for a second there. Yes, he's very clean. He's very slick.
Yes,
it looks like a
weird.
Doll.
He looks like a doll, right?
Yeah,
and they're like, "What the heck just happened?" And he's like, and they look up and it's Khalifa, and Nami's like, Sanji, did you let your honor and your code,
your chivalry,
your chivalry,
stays silent for a little bit?
And she's
now
like,
he knows.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. I gotta handle this one. It's very cool right now to see the crew, because this is kind of like a thematic thing I think Oda's doing right now. Is like the crew recognizing where they need to step up, like where they're needed,
right?
And what they
do the things that I can't do.
They're willing to switch out.
Yes.
Like if I can't handle this person, come on up. You can likely handle it. I'll take on the other guy.
Yeah,
and I like that because Sanji, what we were saying earlier, when he fought Khalifa, there were a couple times he could have ended it.
He could have ended it, very
fight.
much so, very much so.
For sure.
But he couldn't.
I don't hit a woman.
And Nami calls him out on it, but also says, she's like, you're an idiot, but I guess I like that about you.
And a bit of foreshadowing. I think we've seen this before, but it felt like Sanji in this moment kind of said, since I was a kid, like something happened to me when I was a child that made me like this. And that's why I don't hit women, which is like, I think the first kind of big foreshadow to Sanji's past. That I
thought Zeph was the one that talked to him about not hitting.
I don't remember Sanji really emphasizing.
I don't think
I
don't think it goes that far back.
Yeah.
Wait, no, this is what he said. He said when he was a kid.
He met Zeph as a kid.
But that's what I tied it to.
This is what I'm saying. In this chapter, he says, since I was a kid. And then in a future chapter, they explain why. Of like where this comes from. It's not Zeph, to be clear.
I was always on. Okay, but foreshadow.
I mean, we'll get there. We'll
come back to it. Right.
It feels like a foreshadow here.
So we'll come back to it. So Yes, everybody recognizes there are some things they can't do. Yeah, they got to switch it up, and they got to, they got to do better at matching up sometimes. So Nami goes up to take on Khalifa. But let's stick on Chopper for right now. He gives Kumadori that really big hit. It's not enough to take out this guy. So I think they tussle around for a bit, and they eventually end up in the kitchen.
Right.
And I don't know what the fuck how this happens, but he locks him in the refrigerator. Chopper puts him in the refrigerator and locks him in. Like, I think he even goes as far as like, "Hey, look what's in here." He's like, "What is it?" And then he just slams the door on him.
Which is strange. You would think the CP9 agent could break out of there easily, but I guess those freezers are latched with, I don't know, sea prism stone or metal or something.
I don't know. I don't know what the heck that was. So he's locked in the refrigerator. All right, now let's cap off Frankie's fight now. Okay. So Frankie is fighting Fukuro. He needs cola. This fight is not going anywhere. They're trading insults the whole time. But he can't land a finishing blow without some cola. Frankie and Fukuro end up also in the kitchen. And and now you have a really good gag. Chopper's right there, and he's like, "Oh wow, he's a cyborg. That's so cool." But at the same time, too, he's like, "Wait a minute, I'll never forgive you what you did to Usopp." And he's like, "I'm on your side. Just relax, rabbit dog."
No, he tells him Usopp's with you guys, though. What do you mean? Because he's still.
That part, yeah.
He's
like, yes, he does.
That was great.
That was good. And he's like, "Oh man, he's right. But man, he's so cool. He's a cyborg." He's like, "Hey, throw me some cola out of that refrigerator." And I don't know if they do this in the manga, so he throws him some bottles.
They do.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And I think the first one is like olive oil, so he's acting like a farmer.
Okay, no, that's they do gags where he throws them different things, but a farmer one they didn't do with olive oil.
I know one was vegetable juice.
They did vegetable juice.
Yeah,
and there was one more that he did.
I want to say it was olive oil, and
let me see,
or maybe it was alcohol, but it's funny because every time Chopper opens the refrigerator, Kumadori's like, "Oh, hello, is someone letting me out?" And then he slams the door, and then he's like, "Oh, hello again." And then, of course, so he finally gets him the cola, and he's recharged, and their fight goes right back outside where they were. And to wrap it up shortly, and again, you can interject if you have anything you want to say about Frankie's fight. Fukuro does like this paperweight because that's another 6 power where they basically become flat, or they can decrease their body mass and increase it willingly. So Frankie's on top of him, and he pins him down with the centaur. Bam, hits him with the strong right. That's the end of Fukuro. So Fukuro's out. Meanwhile, Chopper's pretty good fight for Frankie. Nice, fairly nice.
It's a nice introduction fight.
Introduction fight, right? He's proved his worth to the crew. He took out a CP9 member. So Frankie's now at the bottom of the tower. Chopper's looking down, and he's amazed at Frankie and everything. And Kumadori's hair seeps out and opens the fridge. And Kumadori has eaten all the food in the fridge.
Yep.
And now he's like bigger, and now he's somewhat stronger too. Now, mind you, Chopper has used the Rumble Ball once already. That's how he was able to first hit Kumadori and leave that clove on him. Chopper takes another Rumble Ball, and he's trying to do some damage on him, but it's not enough. This dude's pretty strong as far as the 6 powers go.
Well, he can't control.
Well, he can't. Yeah, I was going to say he can't control the forms.
He tries to activate like arm boost.
He's trying to get arm
the
boost.
entire time.
He'll add like leg boost instead, and it messes up his combat. He can't control any of his forms, and that's the shtick with Rumble Ball. He really can only eat it once, and he's kind of having this monologue in his head where he's like, if I eat it more than once, that's where things get a little hazy. I don't know if I could control the forms.
Well, 2, yeah. So 2, he can't control the form. So he's switching and he's getting tossed around at this point because he can't get the one that he needs. And then at this point, I think he does land one more hit on him, but it's still not enough.
Right.
So at this point,
because he tells him, please stay down. Please stay down.
Yes.
He hits him. And he's like,
right.
I hope it's over. I hope it's over. It's not.
Right. And so now the kitchen is on fire and now Chopper is locked up and he's up in the hairs at this point. And we get a quick little flashback of him and Dr. Kureha. And it shows like Chopper in bed and he's like, what happened, doctor? And he's like, well, you took that third rumble ball and let's just say your devil fruit powers ran like crazy. Your Zoan type devil fruit powers ran like crazy. And you pretty much lost consciousness and you became a monster. And she advises him to never take 3 ever again, or you don't know what you might do in that instance. And so we see Chopper, and again, this is for Robin. He's thinking about Robin at this point, and he witnesses, he's about to lose, and he doesn't want to lose. He wants to help and contribute and be a pirate. So he takes the third one. And again, it's really cool. Again, anime, man, the way this scene happens, it's like you gradually see Chopper, like the hair getting longer, the whites of his eyes, and then he's just now 10 feet tall. He's a freaking monster. Monster Point.
Pretty
Monster
crazy.
Point, right.
Very
It's
creative,
wild.
very different. And
He
nothing you would
loses
see
all his
coming.
senses.
Looks insane. It looks wild. It's crazy to think that's like Tony Chopper.
Right. He doesn't even look like a reindeer at this point.
Nothing.
He's a giant Sasquatch with antlers on his head, but these arms have like fingers. And this dude, Kumadori, is like, he's like, ooh, I'm not afraid. And then like Chopper's eating everything, like not flinching, not one bit. And then I think he just whacks him once. And then that after that first whack, it's like Chopper is something else at this point. And I think from that point, I think he just pummels him.
Yeah, that's it. He just goes
It's
to town.
over quickly.
It's
It's-
over.
yeah, it's
very
over.
quickly. Yeah.
Like he just goes to town, and that's when you have I love this panel because like that's when you have Frankie climbing up the, from his fight with Fukuro. He's climbing up and he's like, oh yeah, the reindeer was in the kitchen fighting this guy. And when he gets there, he sees just this ominous figure just standing there holding Kumadori by the hair. just gone. He's gone. And he just chucks him. He throws him like off to the other side of Eni's lobby. I love that because they don't even recognize him. And it's only the hat. It's only the hat that gives it away.
It's the hat. Yeah. For Frankie. Yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, Raccoon Dog, is that you?
Yeah.
And then
He doesn't know what he is.
"Ah!" He's a monster. He starts rampaging. He starts trying to hit Frankie. And then the next thing you know, I think he starts climbing the outside wall.
He starts climbing the outside wall.
Yeah.
Right. So
Putting
let's
his
pause
bare fingers into
with his
the
bare
concrete.
fingers.
Yeah.
Right.
Let that
Yes.
strength sit in as how crazy Chopper is right now.
But also he's
It's
just
insane.
he's mindless. We don't even know what he's climbing this wall for. He's just climbing.
Just climbing.
So
It's like
let's
King
pause. Yeah, it's very King Kong-esque, very much. So we're gonna pause on Chopper. Let's go back to Nami. So Nami versus Khalifa, women versus women. Now I have issue with this fight only because when you have a character like Nami or Usopp, sometimes it's like these stronger characters hold back. Khalifa is strong. Like she's a master of the 6 powers. Really, I don't think Nami should be winning this fight. But this girl wants to use her devil fruit powers.
She's also a bit of a weirdo, Khalifa. She gets distracted easily or something.
Mhm.
They're just like there's like
She
these
has
like little
a silly side to her. Like
Yeah.
like she
Yeah,
just
there were
says
these
these
little
weird
moments in the fight.
Yeah. No, I definitely know what you're talking about. Because like what happens in the fight, like there's a couple scenes where like well, I think this is later in the fight because that's when, you know, they're having their back and forth with Nami and Khalifa, and then eventually Chopper ends up coming in. But that was around the time when Nami was gonna reveal some ace up her sleeve, and Chopper
and so she's like, are you a devil fruit user too?
Because she doesn't know where Nami went, so she assumed, oh, this reindeer monster is what she turned into.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then go ahead.
Dummy.
She's dummy, and then she's like,
she tries to play it off. She tries to play it off.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Did you really think I thought that creature was you? But let's get into her devil fruit. She has the soap.
Yes.
I think this is one of the dumbest fruits, but
it is kind of, it really sucks, man. These are CP9 agents. These are CP9 agents, and they got really the shit end of the stick with this. They got the worst devil fruits that were left over.
I think
the
there's an
giraffe
explanation. First of all, I think their devil fruits are good. Second, I think there's an explanation as to why certain devil fruits, they don't know what it does, and they take the risk of eating it because I feel like we know why, as far as why they would use like why they would be so open to just give anybody a certain devil fruits, which we see later on. That happens a lot where people get, you know, fed devil fruits and then they like have these like crazy powers, but they didn't know that it was going to do that or exactly what. But I'll say like for hers was good. I mean, I liked hers. Like
I feel it's dumb in conception, but she uses it well to her advantage. But like, what is it she makes people squeaky clean?
Squeaky clean. No germs, no nothing. You can't stick to anything. It's not happening. You are a new bar of soap.
But on top of that, you become a bar of soap and you can't even walk or move. You're just like a bar of soap.
Yeah, I don't know if it's explained perfectly, and I still don't quite know if I understand it totally. But you know, it leads to a pretty creative fight. There's a lot going on.
It's a creative fight.
Well, yeah. So
kind of going to what Grandmaster was saying. I don't know if I buy Nami beating her, considering, you know, she's in a sad. See, I feel like the devil fruit part of her took away like what she was as an assassin. I don't know.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down. It did not fully showcase Khalifa and what she's capable of. Like, I mean, granted, she has a devil fruit, so she's gonna lean into this power now, but she was fine with the 6 powers in her little rose whip that she used on the train. I think she would have been fine, but they gave her a devil fruit and she starts squeaking cleaning Nami. And Nami can't even grip the climb attack. She can't even move. And then, as Dr. J said, Chopper did make his way up there to where Chopper knocks over the bathtub and water gets on Nami and it gets on part of her leg when she's about to get hit by a Tempest kick. And she realizes her leg is back to normal. So she deduces that, well, it's soap. You got to rinse off the soap. So I think she does a rain cloud tempo.
I thought the water erases the devil fruit power. Is that not what's happening?
No. It's because she's
specifically
soap.
It said in the anime that
soap.
Washes off the soap. Yeah, because when she does it, when she touches you like there's a soap animation that happens, and then literally you get wherever she touched you is where it gets all clean and slippery at.
Sure. Right, because that's around the same time. You know, who was it that chucked the bathtub? Was it
Chopper?
Chopper.
He
chucked it, and the bathtub came crashing down.
We'll come back to the bathtub crashing down.
Right. And Sanji's at the bottom. We don't know what's gonna happen.
Yes, Sanji's at the bottom. So Nami does Mirage tempo again, but she does 5 Namis, and I think she just fakes out Khalifa and then hits her with a thunderbolt tempo. I think that's about
pretty
it.
much it. Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Score one for Nami.
score one for Nami. Yeah.
Say what you will, but yeah, I
Hooray.
feel Khalifa should have won that fight, but she leaned into the bubbles too much, I guess.
I think
Or the
Nami's
fight should have
too-
ended a lot sooner with Nami
Nami's too
winning.
intelligent, too quick-witted, too quick on her feet. I think
She
Nami-
is. I just feel like if Khalifa wasn't
has
trying
a
to,
higher power level, I know, but she's not as quick-witted or smart or
I feel like
resourceful as Nami.
if she did not have the devil fruit, she would have ended the fight a lot sooner with Nami.
No chance.
Khalifa.
Nami's always winning that fight.
No,
10
there's
They
no
fight
way.
10 times, Nami's winning.
it's
Because
a little
she's-
bit of plot armor.
She's relying on the soap element with her powers. I feel like if you take away her soap abilities and she just has the 6 powers, she's finger pistol like
She's finger pistoling a bunch of mirages. Nami, 10 times out of 10. She barely broke a sweat during that fight. Nami's too resourceful. If you're going to go power level, yes, Khalifa's is way higher, but Nami's creativity, use of her baton, resourcefulness is like 10 billion times more higher than whatever Khalifa's knowledge of her own 6 power stuff is. You guys gotta give credit when credit is
I
due.
give credit. I'm just saying, just something to think about. There might be sometimes some plot armor, but that's all right.
Everything's plot armor.
I know. That's
But
the problem.
anyways,
That's the
That's
problem.
storytelling.
That's the problem.
It
All right,
has to be
so-
believable.
correct. All right, so
I believe
Nami
that-
gets her key from Khalifa, and Chopper's still running around. I think at this point, I believe we're going back to Usopp and the
Zoro
gang,
and Usopp.
because Frankie meets up with Nami. They said, let's get our keys to Usopp and them, and they do so. And they get the keys, and I think at this point now, Usopp, I think he's running to go help or do something different.
No, they're still locked. They're still
No,
locked
they
together.
got the keys to them. No.
No,
So-
because that's when Chopper comes in. Chopper comes in on Zoro and Usopp.
Oh, Chopper.
fight.
So Chopper leads. Okay, so Chopper is over here now too.
Right.
Okay.
He's terrifying them, and that's when they. I think that's when they kind of piece together, like they're trying to figure out who that is and what that is. The monster being Chopper, and then that's when Frankie puts 2 and 2 together, and he's like, "Well, if this is your friend," because he wasn't really even sure who it was aside from the hat. But once all the friends confirmed, no, that's Chopper. He's like, all right, well, the one weakness of a devil fruit user is water. So that's when he does the coup de vent,
and he
right?
blasts them into
Right.
the water down below.
He blasts him out into the ocean, and I mean that was a smart move.
Very
right?
smart.
Just nullifies it completely.
Because I think the idea too was that Chopper was wearing himself out in that form, that he might kill himself.
They said it looked like he was dying because he started like breathing very heavily while in that form.
Right.
So yeah, they were like, yo, we gotta kick him out of it, and Frankie blasts him out, and then of course he jumps into the water, make sure
And
Chopper doesn't
and pulls him out.
drown.
Right.
So that's around the same time, Frankie has a key. I think Nami also had a key, but none of them were for Robin.
Yes, but one of them did get Zoro
Right.
and Usopp out.
That's
Yes.
when, so once they save Chopper, that's when they're able to unlock the cuffs off of Zoro and Usopp. And I like the panel when they get uncuffed because you have Usopp just standing there like in the back, like he had it under control all along. I'm like, don't you dare. You knew it damn well you were shitting bricks up
Right.
until now.
Zoro looks so badass in there. It's
It
really
was.
cool.
He does.
So at this point, Usopp and Nami are trying to get the other keys to Robin, right?
Well,
Right,
it's
they're
right now.
about to-
Yes,
They're
right.
about to run off, but Jabber sees them about to run off, and he's about to attack them. And
right.
He's
no. So
No.
Zoro and Kaku start fighting, and then like when I think Nami and Usopp are kind of like, Nami and Usopp are like kind of making the plans. I think you're right to like run the keys to Robin, and then Jabra's like, he's like, I'll just give you the key.
He throws the key on the ground. He's like,
Yeah,
Oh
just
my gosh.
take it. I don't like bloodshed. This is not fun.
Is that what he
Usopp is
says?
like,
Is that what he
well,
says? He says he's
says-
tired of the assassin life.
He says, look, fella, I really don't want to kill anyone. I don't like blood.
It's just deadpan, like delivered so straight, like just like no jokes aside. And Usopp's like, huh? Well, you
All
say
right.
so. And then Jabra gets a look in his eyes, and Usopp just gets pounded.
10-finger pistol.
Just gets wrecked.
That is death.
But
I'm
Usopp
sorry.
isn't down.
That's death.
Usopp's not done.
Well,
Usopp
Usopp-
stands back up and is like, no, I've taken too many beatings. I've taken too many L's. I'm Soge King now. I'm more stronger than ever. I'm confident in myself. I'm taking Jabra down. And then Jabra wrecks him again.
Jabra lays waste to him. He's
Just
really pummeling him.
And it looks like he's going to be killed. And Nami screaming, don't kill him. And a reading is coming up soon. Because this part's so good. And then we said this, I think, the last 2 episodes, that Sanji has an amazing arc in this saga, amazing arcs within the saga.
And he has a one-liner.
It-
has
well,
a
doesn't he
killer
come out?
Well,
Hold up. He
kicks Jabra.
comes in. He
Kicks
comes in out of
Jabra.
nowhere and
Out of
stops
nowhere.
Jabra.
Yes, kicks him straight in the face, sends him flying.
And Jabra before that goes on this rant about being the wolf, and being like this, I don't know,
I'm
animal.
a carnivore. I like blood, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm this animal, and then he gets kicked in the face. Jabra looks up. This isn't even the reading part; it's still coming. But Jabra does look up. He's like, "Who are you?" And Sanji, in this really badass moment, says, "Does anybody know what he says?"
The hunter.
The
The hunter.
You don't get Sanji. Pre-time skip Sanji hits different. I said it before and I'll say it again, man.
That's not even my favorite Sanji part in this like small little section, because it's the very next one. So Jabra's like, oh, okay, this guy's actually gonna be worth my time.
I know what you're getting.
Usopp's devastated though,
I know
because
what you're getting.
Usopp tried to, he tried to level up. Usopp
Trying to prove himself. He's
tried to prove himself.
yeah.
That's what like his entire kind of arc without this saga has kind of been about. And he feels like he fails the team again. And he's like, cough. So sorry, Sanji. Huff. I couldn't. And Sanji's like, it's enough that you're alive. Everyone has things they can and can't do. Both of you, look outside. And they show the gates of justice. And the gates of justice are starting to open. And that's when later on more things happen. But then Sanji's like, things are about to go from bad to worse. I'm losing my train of thought. I'm losing my my reading here. But yeah, it's like kind of like these themes Sanji hits like throughout like this kind of discussion with Usopp and Nami. But it kind of like leads to this pivotal moment where he's like, leave his key to me. Even in the worst circumstances lies opportunity. He's telling this to Usopp. I'll do what you couldn't, and you will do what I couldn't. And Jabra's like, haha, substituting players doesn't bother me. And I think Usopp's kind of like lost in what Sanji's
trying to say, right.
Yeah. And Sanji's like, think about it. Read the situation. So long as you're here, we're sure to save Robin. Usopp. And he says his name. It's this very dramatic panel
You get a little half and half, like down the
Yeah, a
middle.
little half and half. And then Usopp's like kind of like me. And it just kind of like, we keep giving Sanji so much credit, but he does get it. He like, this is kind of what I was saying earlier about each crew member having a pivotal part to play in kind of like both the crew and kind of rescuing Robin. And Sanji's pretty much telling Usopp like, yo, you don't have to defeat Jabra, like the second strongest non-Lucci
The
CP9
third
member.
strongest.
Yeah, the third
Right.
strongest. Yeah, third strongest CP9 member. You don't have to do that. But Usopp, you're pivotal to accomplishing anything we're trying to do. And in this moment, it's saving Robin. And just gotta like find your place.
It's the whole thing is that, you know, we are not a crew that's out here trying to compare each other's strengths. We're all recruited by Luffy for a reason. We all are good at something. Usopp has to stop comparing himself to the rest of the crew and focus on what he's good at. And I think
physical strength. Yeah, it's like this. Like physical strength isn't the only strength. I think Nami proved that in the fight against Khalifa. And Usopp's been kind of like, at least during this saga, he's like been unable to recognize that, you know?
Usopp's been proving it from his inception into the crew. It's simply he looks at these guys and, you know, he gawks at them because, you know, it's his whole thing is about being a brave warrior of the sea. And he sees, you know, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji just, you know, leaving bodies behind them. And he can't do that. And he thinks he's, you know, not worthy, and he thinks he's you know, not fulfilling this great warrior of the sea dream. But then it clicks for him that he is good at something. And again, this is in the name of Robin. Put what you want aside right now. Go do what makes you great to save Robin. And it clicks for him, and then he's like, I got it, and he runs off.
I know, Nami, I know what I must do.
All right, we're getting into the money parts of the money chapters.
Well, we got the big, we got the final big three fights. So we got Sanji versus Jabra.
Right.
Let's do that one first. Let's do this one first.
Let's do Jabra versus Sanji.
Yes, and work our way up.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's standard Sanji fight. Okay. Does he do the thing where he tries to trick Sanji and he says,
"Yes,
Robin and I were brother and sister"?
Yeah, they're siblings. Oh my god, I hated that.
He's so bad. It is so bad.
And he says, like, didn't you ever hear the story of the boy who cried wolf and like kicks his face? Yeah.
He like breaks his nose. Like he has like a long nose as a wolf, and
he has a snout. Yeah.
I think Sanji pushes it in with one of his kicks.
I'd say this, you know, it is a pretty standard Sanji fight, but like, you know, we keep kind of like circling around back to this about like how this is like kind of peak One Piece in a lot of ways, both like the storytelling, the pacing, the kind of impact, kind of, you know, the grandness of everything happening here. But I really do think this is like some of the best action Oda's done, where it's like these fights like are very visual, you know, they're very like action driven. You're able to like kind of see kind of like all these kind of really fast attacks, you know, and it's really, I don't know, just like, at least in the manga, it's like portrayed, I think, really well, you know, kind of like the typical manga kind of action tendencies of like, you know, fast moving body parts and, you know, sharp lines. I feel like it's all used super well here.
Yeah, and then because what's the gimmick here? Sanji's getting some good kicks in, but then Jabra's fast and he can't get close enough to kick him. Is that correct?
No, he's getting kicks in. I think it's just like, I think Jabra's he's using iron body while moving, and I think that's keeping Sanji from really penetrating. I think it says Jabra's the only one who can use iron body while moving, and so
interesting. Oh,
yes,
okay.
They do say that.
So that's keeping
very
Sanji.
Cool. I like that because you know, across the board they all have the 6 powers, but he can do something that the others can't with this variation. That's cool.
And
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so Sanji's having trouble, penetrating, and he kind of realizes like, yo, I really need to kind of like step up to be able to do this, to be able to kind of break through this iron body. And there's like, he does this, Sanji attacks, and Jabra tries different things, and it's a classic kind of fight, like you were saying. It's all cool action. It's all really fun.
Yeah, no, it's all very well portrayed. And then, like you said, he needs to step up, so he starts spinning. Right? He starts spinning. That's how he does it.
He starts spinning and tapping his feet on the ground to like cause that ignition on his foot, his one foot.
Yeah,
this is so dumb, but I like the end result. But I'm like, those shoes, those pants are gone. They are gone.
They should have burnt up.
It's so good.
We get the debut of Diable Jambe.
Jambe.
Once again, the paneling is just so good here, where it's just like you see him spinning on one page, and then you kind of see his legs start to change colors, and then it just becomes like white. You see Jabra's eyes, and then it's like this big impact, which is so good because Jabra's eyes are like all white. He's like as he's getting kicked by Sanji, it's like he loses his eyeballs. It's all really good stuff, is what I'm trying to say.
No, it is really good.
It hurts.
And yeah, it goes flying. And I think this, like, the final attack, I think is really
the final
really
attack
good.
is good because what happens? They get up high.
They get up in the open air.
Right.
Sanji goes up in the open air where, they can do the moonwalk.
Sanji can't. Jabra
Sanji
can.
cannot yet.
Jabra can. It's a Jabra moonwalks to him. And I think Sanji, like,
he lets him claw him. He lets
him claw him, but he like kind of like blocks it in a way.
He blocks part of it so that he doesn't get the
like
full
one leg free.
10 finger pistol. He doesn't want the full one. He gets half of it.
He leaves like one leg free. That he's able to like then swing around. And once again, I think this is like kind of coolly portrayed, and kind of well telegraphed. Where he's able to swing around and then just like slam him with one of his like all-time attacks. That is doing the Diable.
While it's doing Diable job.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Really cool.
It.
Good.
It was the finishing blow. It was the finishing blow.
On a tear, this saga. Great way to work.
He did work. And that's the third strongest fight wrapped up. Was Sanji versus Jabra, and then we cut back to Zoro versus Kaku, right? They're still doing their little silly game.
Well, they're finally now uninterrupted because they're actually trying to have kind of like a Noble-esque fight in a way.
Right.
So they finally get to actually be uninterrupted for the first time.
And Kaku's pulling out all the giraffe stops, just like he starts going full giraffe on Zoro. He's like doing this like head pushing move. He's using his nose like a finger. He like changes his body. He brings out the sword, and like Zoro's like being put to a test. Probably not my favorite Zoro fight, but like it is pretty cool to see.
I'm glad I'm not the only one because I was more excited in the Sanji versus Jabra fight.
I think Sanji and Jabra is better than this fight. I think that's fair to say.
And I'll say this: I do not like the Asura thing.
The nine sword
I
style.
do not like it. I never liked it from here and forevermore after this. I just don't. It does not look nice to me. It is not aesthetically pleasing at all. I don't like it. I don't like the
I kind of
Asura
like it
fight.
I
aesthetically.
mean, it's cool. It's
Yeah, it is.
cool.
It shows
cool
these
to look
heads
at.
on his on his neck, and I
Did
don't
it show
know,
the
man.
heads? I thought it only showed the arms and the swords.
No, it shows him with 2 or 3 other heads, and then he does the 8 arms.
It's 9.
Stuff.
It was
Yeah,
it was
9 arms?
9 arms.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
9
9
arms,
arms.
and it was 3.
No,
It was 3
six,
him.
6 arms, 3 heads.
No.
So
9
9
arms,
blades.
3. Yeah. So it was 9. It was like a 9 sword style move with 3 heads, and I thought it was amazing. I thought it was amazing.
I mean, like, I like the logic of it. It's just aesthetically, just looking at it, I'm like, ugh.
Oh, sorry. It is 9 because the other heads have a sword in their mouth.
Yeah, exactly. 3
Oh,
heads.
9 sword
6
style, but it's 6 arms. It's 6 arms. But
9
because he
blades.
right, 9 blades, because he has 3 heads in total.
Correct.
It's just whatever. I'm like, how the hell did you get this? What the hell is this?
Don't overthink it. It's cool. It's a cool visual.
Yeah, it's cool. All right.
I will also say this was. I feel like we could bring it up now. I feel like this was one of this was okay. Before I say this is one of my favorite arcs. But I will also say this had probably the most ass pulls out of any other arc. To be completely honest, as far as what they just bring as like with that 9, like we never see that move ever again. Like that's not even realistic.
Asura?
The 9 sword.
We see it all the time. Zoro does this all. I never like it when he does it. He does it so often.
When does he do? I just know this one time he does it. I don't remember him doing it that much.
So this was the
Kame
debut.
Chris doesn't like it when things only appear once. They have to be brought
promise.
up again in the
Yes,
greater.
like,
I promise you, it will.
Continuity matters.
Yes.
Continuity matters.
I promise.
Once is not enough.
It
It'll
will come
never be.
again, and because like I've just known this move for so long, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I could have
Zoro.
sworn he's done this move before after
Yeah.
this moment.
I hate it when he brings it up as the finishing, but like Zoro, please do something else. Please. I don't like it. Zoro finishes off Kaku with the Asura Silver Mist, whatever it's called. And he has like a little bit of a dialogue with Kaku. You kind of got these vibes from Kaku beforehand, but he seemed like he wasn't the most aggressive from the other CP9 agents. He kind of had like a little bit of honor to him in a way. He was
Yes,
kind of like
for
doing
sure.
his job. He still messed up for what he did, but I just like the dialogue exchange that they have when Kaku's on the floor, he's defeated, he's done, and he just gives Zoro the key. He's like, here you go, man. Like, you beat me fair and square.
There is like some mutual respect there.
Right.
I think afterwards, which is cool. I think we do get that from Zoro and Kaku.
I love it.
And this was like the first. I feel like a lot of Zoro's fights are like this, and Frankie's fights too, to be specific. But like I feel like a lot of Zoro's fights are like these very honorable fights. So I think this was like a setup to you seeing how everybody's fights are kind of going to go. Usopp's going to be the gag, but Zoro is always going to have that very toughness. This is my fight. No one come through. No one interrupt. I'm the strongest.
I am the first mate.
Gives.
He's the second
Right.
strong. I mean, it's funny too because even throughout this entire arc, people see what Zoro can do and they say, "Oh my God, why is he not the captain? Is he not the captain?" They question Luffy's position in this, but that's because they haven't seen what Luffy can do yet. They see this guy with swords like cutting buildings in half, and it's like, wow, those are pretty impressive feats. Zoro must be the captain, but he's not. He's the first mate. He is the second strongest.
And again, that just speaks to Zoro's respect for Luffy that he has. He very much could be captain. With Zoro, he sees greatness in Luffy, and he sees more honor in seeing his captain become king of the pirates above him becoming the greatest swordsman.
Correct.
The king of the pirate needs the greatest swordsman on his crew.
Nothing less.
Right.
And so their fight pretty much ends. And the last fight is Luffy versus Lucci. However, we will be saving that one for next week.
Next week.
Week, or whenever our next episode is. We'll figure it out when we're gonna do Luffy versus Lucci. But
because there's one more fight, because Luffy goes after Robin.
Right.
And then I think like Robin, who has been traveling with
Spandam.
Like here's like some things like, Lucci, go check that out. Like, I'm gonna keep going with Robin. And to bring it full circle, when Spandam and Robin are traveling alone, they're like, Robin, who we started this episode off with, this podcast episode off with, speaking about like kind of like the most horrific moment she ever experienced was like the Buster Call. So it's like as these fights are happening, Robin is traveling with Spandam, and Spandam does the worst thing ever, where Spandam is trying to talk into a transponder snail. I think Grandmaster.
So what he does is he takes the transponder snail and he thinks he's talking to the Marines in Enos Lobby, and so he thinks he's giving orders. All right, take it from there.
Yeah, he's like, what are you fools doing? Are you guys listening? Say something. And Robin's the one to notice, because this guy is an idiot. Robin notices, wait, that's snail, and that's when Spandam sees that he's not talking on any regular old transponder snail. He's been speaking into the Buster Call snail. Robin's biggest nightmare is about to commence. A Buster Call has been ordered. There's no way to reverse it. 10 gigantic ships, 5 vice admirals are making their way towards Enos Lobby, ready to lay waste to everything. So yeah, Robin's gonna have to experience that all over. We have Lucci versus Luffy coming up, and who knows how the Straw Hats are gonna get out of this one.
I love the setup. I mean, it's kind of dumb when you think about it, because it's like you can't take it back. What happens if you fall on that thing by accident? And
what happens if you press that button at Marijois?
It's like, oh, hold up, guys, hold up, wait, hold on.
They really don't care about like laying out Enos Lobby.
They don't. They're like the judicial island. We got the call.
It's like, hey,
we got the call.
Aokiji said we can trust this guy and give him the Buster Call snail. If he presses it, we gotta go. And I mean, it's in the middle of all that chaos with Luffy versus Lucci, and we have to do that fight justice. I know it's in my background because I love this fight. It's not my favorite fight in all of One Piece, but damn, is it in top 3.
We gotta do
Easily
that
top
fight
3.
Justice. We gotta do.
We're gonna do the whole. We got this. We got now that
my background justice.
Now that we've covered the fights, we're in the end game now. We'll do it justice. We'll literally, I imagine we'll talk an hour about Luffy and Lucci. Possibly. So
no, I mean, you even got Lucci's backstory. You got some of Lucci's
backstory.
Oh
God, no. Don't stop. Okay. No, please. We don't need to do it. No.
You don't want to?
I mean,
not now.
No, I know not now. I mean, ever. Irrelevant.
No, stop. We're talking. Yeah, we're talking about it. Get out of here.
Not needed.
Who cares?
Talk about Lucci's backstory.
I agree. I will say we don't need to hear that backstory.
Oh my god.
Not needed.
Anyways,
I think it might be important in game.
It's always not important until it is.
Yeah,
as with anything in One Piece.
Well, it hasn't been. Spoiler alert.
We still got 6 years, Kame Chris. 6+ years, so you got time.
Right.
But there you have it, folks. We tried to get through the CP9 fights, but man, we really loved it. As you can tell, we really loved all these battles. We wanted to do each of them justice and get the chaos of the fights being intermingled with each other, get the comedy bits right, because this is one of the highest peaking points in One Piece. And a lot of people enjoy these moments. So we're gonna save Luffy versus Lucci for next week. And we'll see how far we get from there.
No more promises. We need
no
to
more
stop
promises. We know where we want to start, but it's a crapshoot on where we end. We try our best, though. We try our best. But yeah. Any final thoughts on these CP9 fights right before Luffy versus Lucci? Any final thoughts you want to throw out there?
I think these fights were a great build-up to the final confrontation, and again, this is a testament of the Straw Hats' new strength, as far as them leveling up, them using their wits and using other methods of winning fights versus just strength, and also a great introduction to Frankie as well. But also, just shows their determination. Like, Chopper taking a third Rumble Ball, everybody stepping up to get their friend Robin.
Everyone's willing to risk it all.
It's nice to see, after her tragic backstory, that she really has these people looking for her best interest and willing to fight and die for it.
And just to be sure, that backstory, she's not relaying that backstory, right? That's just
no.
in her head. Okay.
Yeah, it's in her head. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of that look at her eyes, and you can
her
tell
eyes
she's been
tell
through
the
some
story.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course.
And I'll say this is the best I think this is the best collection of fights. I think I go One Piece history.
It is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no.
I want to
sure.
reread Wano. I want to reread
Wano. Yes.
I need to reread Wano, because Wano might have stepped up the game, because everybody has a fight.
Yeah, I was just about to say Wano definitely took. I want to say Wano's my favorite, first of all, and it definitely took this arc by a big sweep, like not a small.
People
Wano
confuse hype with quality.
No.
That's all I'll say.
No. CP9, you get the end, like the fights are in game. Wano, the fights are the game. Period.
Well, we'll get to it on the reread. I'm telling you, rereading these changes your perspective. Rewatching and rereading. What the hell? It changes your perspective. Like I always had CP9 and these Water 7 fights up there for a while, but this is really good. But again, I do admit I do have to reread Wano, because you appreciate an arc a lot more, or even less, if you read it like in one back-to-back reading, as opposed to weekly, sometimes even bi-weekly, depending on when the chapters come out. So we'll see. But there you have it, folks. There is our part 3 of the Water 7 / Enies Lobby arc. There's going to be a part 4, as you know. There's probably going to be a part 5. We'll try and get through it. These will probably get longer as One Piece goes along, because the story just keeps expanding. It keeps expanding. It's no longer the simple, let's beat up Captain Kuro out on the east coast of Syrup Village and call it a day. No, it's no longer that anymore. So let us know what you think about the CP9 fights in Enies Lobby. Let us know what your favorite fight was, and give us a like, give us a follow, share us around wherever you're listening to us on, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, at the Yonkō Table. And if you would like to see our lovely faces as we debate the ultimate fight in One Piece, that is Water 7, check out at DrJaceAttorney for the YouTube portion of this pod. But with that, everyone, I'm your Yonkō host, DrJaceAttorney. Fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop, Supernova Kame Chris, and Admiral HooperTV signing off, and take care.